It's of Wisconsin, there is a difference.
Broadcasting live from the shadow of the south end zone at Lambeau Field.
Alongside Gabe Neitzel and the mayor, Steve Scaffidi, here's Alex Strouf.
Weren't we just here? Seems like it, man. 2 games in 5 days to kick off the 2025 NFL season. Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. I'm Alex Strouf alongside the mayor, Steve Scaffidi from 620 WTMJ, from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, and every radio show ESPN Radio's ever had.
He does it all. He does it all.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, weekday morning 7 to 9, ESPN Milwaukee. Week 2, Packers 1-0, Commanders 1-0, and it all goes down tonight right here at Lambeau Field on Thursday Night Football. Gabriel, big game feel for the second week in a row for Green Bay.
It is, and before I dive into what we have tonight, I got to know, because Steve Scaffidi was in there. He was at the game last week. What was the energy like inside Lambeau Field, especially when the defense came out, Micah Parsons was introduced last?
It was as loud as I can remember in like the last 2 decades. It was insanely loud. I was inside and outside because I sit inside generally for the games now, but I went outside because I want to hear that. I want to see the flyover. It was nuts in there. The fans were into it, and you know what? The team responded to that, and certainly Micah Parsons did too.
So like 96 level, like,
I don't know what it was.
loudness?
I think it was louder than that. It was nuts in there. I mean, when I was inside, I could hear, and that's not always the case. That's how loud the crowd was. It was awesome.
Pure domination.
Love to hear that.
I think it's going to be louder tonight.
Hope you're right. I'll be there.
I feel,
might go up an octave.
And I know it's the first, it's now the Milwaukee season tickets, and they get their first opportunity to see Micah Parsons. But honestly, like, that level of player, I feel like just changes the energy of the fan base. And I mean, the month of August, and part of it was because everybody had Brewers fever, right? They had 14 wins in a row. Everything's going great. But it kind of felt like, okay, we're kind of waiting out for Packers season. Are the Brewers really going to, like, dominate this news cycle even when the Packers start? Because usually you hit August and everything just becomes all about the Packers. And the Micah Parsons trade, I think, changed that. It just inserted and injected his energy into a fan base, and I can't wait to see if it continues and that energy level continues to fly high inside Lambeau.
It was like Goody saying, hell no, that's not going to happen. We're the story. And he just said, okay, we're doing this.
Well, in talking with Chewy this week, so back in the 90s, I guess for people like Strouf who weren't alive.
Hey.
But what? It's just it's a factual statement. They had a 29-game winning streak, including playoffs. They had a 29-game winning streak that started their second home game in 95 and went until Randy Moss's rookie year in 98 when they came in on Monday Night Football.
I think
and
it was all those
that.
games but one.
Yeah, so 29 games in a
it was
row.
Nuts. It was nuts.
And it got to a point with Lambeau Field, and some of it was the team, how good the team was. Some of it was how cold it can get. Some of it was certainly the energy inside Lambeau. But Chewy would talk about how they just knew. Like, before the game's over, like, oh, this team's cooked. And the other team knew it, that they could not come into Lambeau Field and win. I am hoping that this move of Micah Parsons and the energy that that existed last week inside Lambeau Field, we can get back to something like that, where the energy and everything, where Lambeau Field is a true home field advantage.
It was the old days of 8-0 at home. What's going to happen on the road? That was the story of the season. Whatever happened on the road, that was going to be our record, because we knew that we're going to win all the games at home, and that's what happened for so long. Or variations on the theme, 7-1, but they were so dominant. This team, and I spent the week listening to all the experts talk about this team. There aren't many that don't think this team is something special on defense. Flying around was the term I heard a lot.
Yeah.
Getting to the quarterback, pass rush, that was a concern last year, right?
Yep.
Then they sort of started figuring it out. Injuries played a role last year. This team right now, fairly healthy, ready to play. I like the fact that they're playing in prime time. That's a setting that I think this team is going to enjoy.
And it's funny with the defense. This being a defensive first team, which is not something we're used to.
Yeah.
But the dirty secret of 96, the dirty secret of 2010, is that those were actually defensive first teams. In 2010, Aaron Rodgers hadn't fully become Aaron Rodgers yet. I think He did during that playoff run, certainly, but he had his own concussion issues, had to miss some games, whether it was getting a concussion against Washington here at Lambeau Field, then getting a concussion against Detroit and having to miss a New England game. But then Aaron had that great playoff run that led to the Super Bowl. That team that year was number 2 in scoring, and they never trailed a single game by more than 7 points because of what that defense could do. And Chewy has mentioned it a number of different times. He mentioned it this morning when we were doing an event at the station for some of our partners with the people of Unsportsmanlike. He recently went back and watched the Super Bowl 31. And yeah, the offense made some splash plays. They had Andre and the play to Antonio Freeman. But really, it was the defense that won that game for him. That defense was awesome that year. They had the number 1 offense, number 1 defense. That's why it's a top 10 team in NFL history. But that defense, and it's because Brett won the MVPs. Aaron won the MVPs, so I feel like the defenses, despite having, now we know 2 Hall of Famers on that 96 team, the defense was underrated.
What do you remember about that defense in that Super Bowl? Reggie White taking that Patriot and tossing him aside, and the guy weighed like 300 pounds.
3 sacks by Reggie.
Oh, my God.
The game winner.
4,
Still a record, I believe.
yeah, and 4 interceptions as a team in that
nuts.
Super Bowl.
It was
But
nuts.
that defense was so dominant, and again, when you have a defense that dominant, it makes the offense that much better because Jordan Love can make a mistake. Defense has got it. When you have a defense that we think they have, based on what they did last week against Detroit, it's like having this big eraser, right? Brett threw 12, 13 interceptions in 1996. Didn't matter because the defense always had his back.
My favorite thing about this, Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin with you, Gabe Neitzel, Steve Scaffidi, Alex Strouf, hanging out just outside of Lambeau Field, leading you up to kickoff between the Packers and the Commanders. My favorite thing about everything we've talked about to start the show is it's not a joke. We're not guessing. This isn't hyperbole. This is a defense-first team, and we've determined that in 1 week, 1 game.
Well, it's because you have one of the best players in the league on defense.
And what I want to get into a little bit more, guys, is his effect was felt like that from the get-go.
In 29 plays.
Despite only playing 29 of the Packers' 65 defensive snaps. But everything changed when he was on the field. Jared Goff had no time to throw. That offense had no time to get anything going. They couldn't run the ball. They couldn't throw the ball. And then all of a sudden, he's got Lucas Van Ness, Colby Wooden, and Quay Walker looking like superstars.
Now, the question mark is Goff is not Daniels.
Right.
Correct.
Very different quarterback.
It's a new challenge.
Absolutely.
But I think it's going to be a fun challenge because if they play as well as they did last week, it proves it doesn't matter the type of quarterback you have. Because this defense is going to be able to figure out. And I think that's what Jeff Hafley brings to the table, and that's what this athletic defense can do. They've got difference makers at every single level. I do a series called the All-22 with Chewy, where we break down 5 plays using the All-22. And there was a play last week. And again, this is the Micah Parsons effect. They're on the goal line. It's 3rd and long. Detroit knows they just got to get out of the end zone so they can punt it away. And Micah Parsons was such a problem that 3 guys paid attention to him and just left Colby Wooden. He's the closest man to the ball carrier running back, and he just had to step up. And there he is to make a tackle, and they're trying to scramble to get out of the end zone because Micah Parsons demands that much attention, and that can open up everything else for
Every
everyone.
other guy in this defense has been handed this opportunity to shine now because all that attention, all that focus is on Micah Parsons. I love that. It's the challenge. And Micah Parsons is good at motivating these guys. Already, in 1 week of game, he's already ready to motivate these guys to a higher level.
And
I
he's
love that.
Talking about how he's here to help Lucas Van Ness become a better player. That's what I love because some of the detractors of the trade were like, well, he wasn't really that good of a teammate down in Dallas. And my hope was that the locker room and culture in Green Bay, being vastly different than that one in Dallas, was going to get Micah to kind of be some of the things he's already talking about being like that. But also, even though he played only 29 of the 65 snaps, so he plays less than 50% of the snaps, it's the inverse of, speaking of the Brewers, when they traded away Josh Hader. Because when they traded away Josh Hader, the front office didn't mean to do this, but it was the end result of, do they actually not believe in us? They just traded away our closer. They think we're not good enough? Whereas now you go and get Micah Parsons on the eve of the season beginning, and they're, wow. This front office, these people, everybody believes in us. Now we got to go out there and prove them right.
I heard Chris Canny from Unsportsmanlike weekday mornings from 5 to 9 on ESPN Madison, 5 to 7 living into Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on ESPN Milwaukee say something this morning that really caught my ear. I don't know if I agree with it, but it was it shows you how big this move is for the Packers. He said there are 3 teams in the NFL this season in 2025 where anything short of winning the Super Bowl is a failure. The Kansas City Chiefs.
Understandable.
The Philadelphia Eagles.
Understandable.
And the Green Bay Packers. Those were his 3 teams. That anything short of a Super Bowl win, he'd viewed this season as a failure for them. I don't know if I agree with it, but I listened to that. But that tells you from a national perspective, Gabe and Steve, how big of a swing this was by Goody. And I know we spent a ton of time on this last week leading into the season opener, but here we are a week later. He gets a sack. He impacts the defense. They hold Detroit effectively to 6 points, really 13.
I mean, the touchdown they scored, like the Packers got a hand on that ball. It Tesla just ends up making unbelievable catch with what was really good defense.
One of the best you'll ever see, but there was 55 seconds left in the game. Like it was 27-6 in that game. He made that much of an impact, and he played less than 50% of the
If we trust all the TV guys and all the radio guys who are experts on sports, expert on football, NFL football specifically, they're all saying the same thing. That doesn't happen that often,
right?
I think.
Where you get that much unison of, oh, hey, this team's really good.
Almost even the haters of the Packers are like, damn, those Packers are pretty good.
Well,
that doesn't happen.
Oh, you're paying attention to the haters?
Oh, yeah.
Well, you always got to pay attention to the haters, right? So coming into the season, I thought there were kind of 6 teams in a group of, in that Super Bowl or bust, 3 in the AFC, 3 in the NFC, the 3 AFC being Kansas City, Baltimore, Buffalo. Yep. Baltimore, Buffalo obviously go head-to-head last week. And then in the NFC, I thought it was the Packers, the Lions, and the Eagles. And the Lions, I think, are going to have, a little bit of a bump in the road with replacing the coordinators. I think that's going to take a little bit more time than even they thought to kind of get comfortable in there. But when you play one of those other top 6 teams and dominate the way that you did, like Baltimore and Buffalo played a great game. It was entertaining. Kansas City loses. Wasn't a dominant performance by the Eagles on the opening nights. When you go out and dominate the way that the Packers did, that's what gets everybody's attention, because you weren't dominating the Saints. You weren't dominating the Giants. Right. You were dominating a team that everybody was expecting to be there at the end of the season.
I'll give you the fans' perspective. I sit in those seats for almost every home game. I have not been more relaxed at a home opener we haven't had one in a while, but any home opener at Lambeau, it was like, wow, this is going pretty well.
Especially against a team that's been as good as the Lions have.
Oh, they had won
at Lambeau Field.
Absolutely.
They won 3 in a row prior to last week.
That was the story, that they were just beating up on a team that's beaten them up for the last few years.
No doubt. It is
forget
unbelievably exciting what they did last week, but I always say, and I did it a bunch this week, I'm going to say it one more time, you can't overreact too much to week 1 because it is week 1. Let's remember a couple of years ago the Packers lost whatever it was, 38-6 or something to the Saints in the opener, and they ended up being the 1 seed in the NFC.
That's why this game is so important.
That's why this one matters a hell of a lot more.
Prime time.
Bingo.
Good team, great team. They went to the NFC Championship game last year, didn't they?
They did.
They
did.
Lost to the Eagles.
This is, and again, it's a different challenge for the defense because of what Jayden Daniels presents. But also, they got a rookie running back in there. I'm not that big of a believer in Deebo Samuel. He's been living off of a 1,400-yard season that he had.
Him.
Oh, he's washed.
He had a really good game last week.
Sure.
Yeah.
Which happens from time to time. You know who had a really good game for the Packers but was ultimately washed? Jimmy Graham.
That's a good point.
Like everybody thought, the Packers went and Jimmy Graham, he's going to be a big change.
Jimmy Graham drop in the first segment. That's good.
Yeah. But
I had forgotten he was on the Packers.
Yeah. But so I look at Deebo Samuel as somebody who's been living off of a 1,400-yard season that he had 4 years ago at this point, back in 2021 when the Packers were the number 1 seed in the NFC. That's how long ago that was. I mean, Scary Terry got off to a slow start. He is certainly going to be a problem you have to keep an eye on. But it's an older team. This is
oldest,
an older,
youngest.
Yeah,
correct.
Coming in, and I think even though it's early season, having that quick turnaround from a Sunday to a Thursday, and then having to travel on top of it, it's a small advantage, but it is an advantage for the Packers.
Even as an old person, I agree with that. Absolutely.
We're not ageist on the show. That's why we hired you.
That turnaround can kill you.
It sure can. But here we are for the second time in 5 days as the Green Bay Packers will take on the Washington Commanders. It's Thursday night football from Lambeau Field, a 7:15 kickoff between these two teams. He's Gabe Neitzel. He's Steve Scaffidi. I'm Alex Strouf hanging out with you. Got to tell you about our friends at V Private Bar Services. We're here at the Tundra Trio tailgate, which is already booming. It just opened 15 minutes ago. There's got to be 100 people here already. And let me tell you, our partners and fans are sipping on some incredible cocktails. That's thanks to V Private Bar Services, the go-to team behind our bar hospitality. They bring the flavor, the flair, and the experience that takes our game day to the next level. Raise the bar for your next event and book V Private Bar Services today. We got to talk about this quarterback matchup, man. Jayden Daniels, Jordan Love, they go toe-to-toe tonight for the very first time at Lambeau Field. We will dive into both of these quarterbacks coming up next. It's Green Bay Game Day, presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
Up on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Ready to watch the Packers like a VIP? Cousins Subs put you in the center of it all on the 50-yard line in plush recliner seats, complete with personal TVs and your favorites delivered from Cousins Subs. 2 pairs of fans are selected before each regular season home game to enjoy this one-of-a-kind experience. Enter daily to win the best seats in the house, only from Cousins Subs. Cousins Subs. We believe in better. See rules and eligibility for details.
Grand slams and walk-offs. If you haven't jumped on the bandwagon by now, what are you waiting for? Siding Unlimited is Milwaukee's very own national champions. That's right, Siding Unlimited installs windows, and we do it really well, earning the prestigious Pella Platinum Premier National Certified Contractor of the Year award 5 times. New windows? Our expert team will deliver on a smooth, hassle-free installation, making you feel proud of calling Siding Unlimited for your window project. What's the next step? Call 262-567-4513 or go to sidingunlimited.com.
Did you forget the first day of school is this week and little Nancy still needs her name embroidered on her backpack? Or the company shirts are due now, not next week? Maybe the boss just declared Steve's retirement party is today and the shirts are mandatory? Whatever the rush, Big Frog Custom T-shirts and more in Mequon has got you covered. With fast turnarounds, no minimums, eco-friendly printing, and high-quality custom apparel, Big Frog brings your custom ideas to life fast. Stop by Big Frog in Mequon or visit bigfrog.com/Mequon. Big Frog Custom T-shirts and more, where your ideas leap to life.
UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org.
With your UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, I'm Will Summers. In her first high school meet, Port Washington freshman Amanda Lotz shattered the school's 100-yard backstroke record by an impressive 5 seconds. Lotz continued her standout performance by slicing 13 seconds off the Kohler Pool record in the 500 freestyle. She also topped her own school record in the 100 backstroke, setting a new pool record by 6 seconds. Her dominant swims played a crucial role in leading the Pirates to a narrow 91-89 victory over the Blue Bombers. Congratulations to Port Washington's Amanda Lotz, your UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
No matter what we were doing, the Brewer game was always on. Kind of the background of my childhood. I wore number 17.
Oh, you did? I didn't know that was my number.
Yep. This is my friend Jim Gantner. Jim was always my favorite player. We did Jim's roof up in Eden.
Right. The great job he does on homes. Most important is honesty, integrity, and doing a great job.
See how Big Fish Contracting is renovating homes and redeeming an industry at bigfishcontracting.com.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on the Packers. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
It's your boy Bert Kreischer, the Machine.
Woo! I'm back, baby!
And I'm bringing the Permission to Party World Tour to the Fiserv Forum September 19th.
Don't let them forget who you are and what you do.
Get your tickets at BurtBurtBurt.com. I'll see you there.
You're listening to Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Go time, Thursday Night Football at Lambeau Field. Packers Commanders, 7:15 kickoff tonight. It's Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Alex Strouf, Steve Scaffidi, Gabe Neitzel hanging out with you. And I see Ronica Stone Love walking past us here at the Tundra Trio, making her rounds with the Thursday Night Football social media
looking
team.
Good. She's tall.
She's very tall.
I mean,
she's a volleyball player.
I was about to say, professional volleyball player.
She'll kill you with
Makes
a volleyball.
Sense. Oh, I got to
kill me probably.
I think all three of us.
Yes.
Maybe not Gabe. He's pretty athletic, but the other two of us not so much. I do want to talk.
I like how he assumes I'm not athletic.
He just dragged you down in the same category.
I've seen him run. I think I can still beat him.
Everybody has.
We're not doing this tonight. We're not doing this tonight.
I know you could beat him in a foot race.
We should get that set up for charity. How much would that raise? Damn, I'd practice for that.
I worry about your Achilles.
Scaffidi out there doing sprints in the Tundra Trio.
Got to keep you in one piece.
One side or the other side, man. Let's raise some money. Come on, let's do it.
Let's dive into this quarterback battle a little bit. It's Jordan Love in his third year as a starter, in his sixth year in the NFL, taking on the reigning Rookie of the Year in Jayden Daniels, his second year, obviously, in the NFL. A terrific rookie year, leading the Washington Commanders. So the year prior had won 4 games to the NFC Championship game. Ran for 891 yards last year on top of everything he did through the air. It's a really good quarterback, really good young quarterback who's got a really bright future, both in the NFC and, of course, overall in the National Football League. What do you expect? Let's start with Jayden Daniels because he's elusive. He runs around. He can throw the ball. He's got good targets. Gabe mentioned Terry McLaurin earlier, who got locked up to an extension in late this offseason. He's got options on that offense. What do you expect out of him tonight against a Packers defense who was cooking with gas in week number 1 game?
Yeah, I mean, this is... You mentioned them having 4 wins. He was the second overall pick. The reason why they did what they did last year is because of him. He's that good. He's that much of a difference maker. He's the reason they went to the NFC Championship game because he was able to. A lot of the things we talked about with Micah Parsons, changing the energy of the Packers defense, that's what he did for the Commanders offense last year. And I don't think he's a flash in the pan type of guy. I think he's just somebody who has consistently gotten better going back to his college career and the way that he prepares. I think he's only going to continue to get better this year for the Washington Commanders. But he does do everything for them. You know, Brian Robinson Jr. was their leading rusher as a running back because Jayden Daniels led them in rushing last year. They decided to let him go, so they've got a rookie running back. They have some different weapons there. It's all about trying to slow him down and finding ways to contain him. It's easier said than done, but containing him is the key to containing the entire Commanders' offense.
It's more than skills. He's a smart quarterback at a young age, and any quarterback can kind of put that piece of it together. We're seeing what Caleb Williams is not doing in Chicago. Mm-hmm. I don't know if he's smart on the football field or not. He's got great athletic skills as a quarterback. He can wing it, not very accurately, as we've seen in the first week of the season. But Jayden Daniels has all of those things and a football acumen that makes him successful. Now, he did it 1 year. We'll see what happens this year. And he was great last week. He was good, right?
Yeah, he was good.
They played a bad team.
Yeah, but he's somebody, and maybe it's just because Jen Latta, who just operates in that college base during game day, like she shared a story of he uses virtual reality glasses and goggles to like get better. He watches tape from like that perspective, and he watches it double time. So now, when he's out there, the game slows down for him, and that's what led to his explosion and Heisman Trophy winning season at LSU. And again, no big shock. I mean, he's somebody who completed almost 70% of his passes last year as a rookie. Now, again, they did a very good job of knowing when to unleash him, knowing when to kind of rein him in at different times last year for Washington. And it comes down to the Packers' front seven and how much they can contain him in tonight's game. I think that's the biggest key.
Look, I expect the Packers to win this game, but I'm excited about the challenge of facing a quarterback like Daniels. That's what it is, because we just saw a stationary quarterback, or one that doesn't move much. This guy does it all. You said 800-plus yards rushing, can throw the ball. We saw him wing it and beat Chicago, the Bears, with the Hail Mary. The guy can throw the ball all around the field. He's got some talent. He played great last week. Let's see what he can do with this absolutely crazy crowd tonight, prime time.
Isn't that – it's just kind of funny where – I feel like for the last decade, going up against a quarterback like this, I'd be scared.
No, let me say one name
terrifying.
to you. Let me say one name to you.
Yeah.
You might run out of here seeing ghosts. Colin Kaepernick.
Oh, yeah. Well, the way he, I mean, again, but the way that Steve is talking right now, I 100% agree with him. Like, maybe the Packers lose tonight. I'm just excited to see what this defense does in a different challenge against this, because that's how good I think this team is, and that's how good I think the defense is.
I look at the schedule. And it used to be, I don't like that. That matchup's bad. I don't look at the schedule like that at all. I love the challenges that are built into the schedule. I don't like necessarily having a bye early, but maybe that's what this team needs. Because if they have a hot start, man, you give them rest, and then they launch into the 2/3 the remaining part of the season. That's exciting.
I hate the early bye, but I've talked myself into liking the early bye.
I don't know how, but go on. Please convince me.
Because now with that extra half-week bye this week, and then the full bye later,
you better be healthy.
Micah Parsons is going to be fully unleashed by week 5.
Yep,
fully unleashed. He'll be completely caught up to speed with the mini bye. Yeah, that's what I mean. Game 5.
How many plays does he play tonight? He played 29 Sunday.
It's so hard to predict. I prefer percentages because it's just you don't know if this game's going to get slowed way down, if they'll only have 45 defensive snaps versus the 65 they had last week. I would guess it's over 50% this week.
I would say that's the right number.
Yeah, I think the percentage is the way to go. I mean, he ended up playing more than they thought last week.
But
just
he begged
because,
for it, according to Matt LaFleur.
Yeah, he wanted to, and it ended up being because they were up by so much. It was a lot of pass rushing situations in the entire second half, and that's when he got a lot of those snaps. But yeah, I would say the percentage increases, whether that ends up being 35 snaps, I'm not sure, but I think he plays more tonight.
I would agree with you.
When I saw that sack that he had last Sunday, just 5 days ago.
The chase down.
I went home and watched the broadcast, and I watched it over like 10 times. That's what we bought. That's what we paid for. That's the kind of he didn't have to. I mean, he didn't have to exert himself like that in his first game. He was barely in shape, football shape. He's in great shape otherwise. But he did that to tell the fans, we're good here. We're ready for whatever we're going to bring.
It's a moment that will go down. I think.
My goodness,
if this ends in a championship in the next couple of years, that moment will go down in Packers.
It's on the highlight reel.
It was such a. I literally, the first time I watched it, I felt like I was watching it in slow motion.
Yeah,
you see Goff rolling, you see Goff still rolling, and then you see that image of Micah Parsons get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then boom, the moment happens. And I was here at the Tundra Tree. I didn't go inside the game last week, but I was sitting right out here with the door open, or in our garage here with the door open. And about 10 seconds before it hit TV, I hear the loudest eruption I did all day.
You could hear the roar inside the club section. That's how loud that was, and you rarely do hear it that loud.
I hear you. I mean, it was truly a remarkable moment and quite a welcome to Green Bay moment for Micah Parsons. We're talking about the quarterbacks, and we're going to keep going back to Micah Parsons because he's such a big story.
Well, because that is such a big part of what's going to happen. Zach Ertz obviously is a veteran tight end. I'm sure they would like to use more, but they're going to have Zach Ertz stay in and chip, which means he's not going to be able to get out into his route and be on time for where he needs to be.
Right.
Like Micah Parsons, and I know I said this last week, but it bears repeating. There are two positions on the football, the way the NFL is now, that impact every other position. Offensively, it's quarterback. Defensively, it is an elite rusher, because those are the two positions that can make everybody else around you better. And that's why the Packers were willing to pay what they did for Micah Parsons. And you see that in all the different ways, whether that's, okay, all this attention goes him. So now Lucas Van Ness on the inside can bull rush a guard and pick up a half a sack. Oh, Zach Ertz now has to probably throw a chip to try to help out the offensive line. Gets out into his route later than what they want, and that impacts the passing game as well.
Real quick, let's flip to the other quarterback before we visit with our buddy Rob Demovsky coming up next on Green Bay Game Day. Alex Strouf, Gabe Neitzel, Steve Scaffidi with you. We didn't need to see Jordan Love heroics last week. It wasn't necessary because that game was a blowout. It was total domination from the Packers. He looked really good in the first half. Second half, had some questionable throws, but all in all, I thought he had a good game. He finished with 188 yards, 2 touchdown passes, didn't throw an interception. Technically, that pick six gets called back. Ultimately, one of his couple bad throws that I imagine he'd like back if he could do it all over again. But all in all, I thought Jordan Love was efficient. He protected the football. He didn't get sacked. The offensive line held up, and that's obviously something we'll get into with Rob with a couple of injuries on the offensive line. But I thought he was good. Tonight is a night where I want to see really good Jordan Love, because I think this is going to be a much closer game than we saw in week 1.
We saw the Tucker Kraft pass. That's the kind of Jordan Love you're looking for.
That's how you put that thing on a rope.
That was a brilliant, that's our Aaron Rodgers-esque pass, right? So that's our expectation. I think we're going to see that. If he stays healthy, we're going to see that progression this year. It seems like LaFleur, Goody, the team has ultimate faith that this is the next guy. I know a lot of people don't like to say, obviously we had Favre, Rodgers, now Love. That's the easy thing. We'd love that to happen. It's craziness when you talk about football history, the legacy of our Packers quarterbacks. But he's put himself in position to do that, and so far he's demonstrated he has the skills to do it. But can he put it together 4 quarters, week to week in the NFL? That's the challenge for him.
Yeah, it's the consistency, and that's why I would love to see a similar game this week than what we had last week from Jordan Love, because that shows, again, late season, he's been able to put it together. Back-to-back seasons. I mean, last year he went 7 straight games to close it out with no interceptions until he got to the playoffs. The 8-game stretch that he had his first year as a starter back in 23 was spectacular. Right, he played so well that he ended up with the second most touchdown passes in the NFL in 2023. So it's building off of what he did last week, and I'd like to see some of those. I'm not even worried about the throw that would have been the pick six.
Yeah.
That was just also a spectacular play. When a defensive back has to stretch out and sell out like that, it's the throw before that makes me a little bit worried. Like, he's kind of floated one out to the flat. Like, what's going on here? That's what I want to see him clean up. Like, you're going to make mistakes. Passes are going to be intercepted. That happens. But it's just wait, what was he thinking play that you want to avoid, because you don't want to have the reputation of, hey, he's going to give us an opportunity, guys. We just got to make sure we take advantage. You don't want defenses thinking that about you.
But it's safe to say, probably right now at this point in his career, they do think that.
Yeah, I think they do. And that's what you need to clean up, like those questionable decisions. Again,
he doesn't make a ton of them.
No, but once a game, even in the games he hasn't, you're like, wait, what?
What are we doing there?
Yeah. Whereas with the one that would have been a pick six, I understand what he was doing. He was trying to fit the ball into a tight window. Guy just would have made, had there not been penalties, a spectacular play on it. And I'm cool with that.
Look, if we have a top 5 defense, which I think a lot of us think they have, or at least the potential to have.
Definitely.
I don't need Jordan Love to have 300 yards passing every week.
Nope.
Because we got Josh Jacobs. He runs really well. He's a tough guy. I'm okay with 200 yards, a couple touchdowns, and we can still win the game easily. That's just perfect with me.
I just don't think this team is designed for Love to play hero ball, right? He doesn't need to have 300-yard, 4-touchdown games like we saw Aaron Rodgers have in his Pittsburgh debut last week. It's just not how this team is designed, to your point with Josh Jacobs, but they do have reliable weapons, or hopefully for him, all across that offense.
And I know we're talking about quarterbacks.
All the receivers.
This may be a Josh Jacobs game where he just goes off.
Very
Who
well
knows?
could be.
Who
Very
knows?
well could be. His usage not terribly high in week 1 last week. A little bit higher in the second half after a pretty
He grinded
bad
it
start.
out at the end.
But second half he was really solid.
As bad as he was in the first, 6 carries for 8 yards, to finish with the 13 carries and 58 yards that he did, that's what you need Josh Jacobs for, to grind games to a halt and just, oh man, time's running out. We don't have enough time to come back because Josh Jacobs continues to grind out first down after first down.
All right, back-to-back guests coming up on Green Bay Game Day. Coming up next, we will have our buddy Rob Demovsky from inside of Lambeau Field to preview all things green and gold and burgundy and gold. Is it burgundy and yellow? What are other colors?
It's a great question.
I'm going to Google that. Maybe that'll be our Lakeland trivia question today. No, it's burgundy, Will. It's burgundy.
You know for sure you're just saying that.
Is burgundy yellow or red?
Burgundy's reddish.
Yeah.
See how
okay,
you're
I think it's
trust this
burgundy.
guy.
The wine is red, right? Burgundy?
Yeah, burgundy. I think it's burgundy and gold. Anyway, not important. We're going to talk green and gold and the Commanders with Rob Demovsky coming up next. And at 4:45, Michelle Smallman from ESPN Radios and Sportsmanlike will join us here at the Tundra Trio. That's all still ahead. But first, brats, coolers, friends, you've got it all. But rolling into the tailgate with a clean car, that's the real MVP move. Keep it spotless with the Tsunami Express Car Wash membership with 13 locations and growing. It's easy to swing through. On your way to the action. Tsunami Express, wash, chill, repeat. Rob Demovsky next. It's Green Bay Game Day.
We're back with Green Bay Game Day after this on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments, Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Hey, it's your friend John McGivern. In a world full of chaos, I'm grateful for a health plan that has my back. Network Health is so reliable and trustworthy, they always put me and over 126,000 members first. It's just what they do and what they've always done for over 41 years. Call 833-7-NETWORK today. HMO and POS plans underwritten by Network Health Plan. Compensation has been provided for using this endorsement of Network Health.
Oh no, there's only seltzer left, and it's passionberry almond fruit? Who comes up with these? Kick the aluminum can to the curb and mix up a cocktail you actually want with Tito's. It tastes great, it's gluten-free, and it's available in a variety of sizes for your convenience. The flavor abilities are endless. Tito's Handmade Vodka, the official spirit of whatever you want to drink. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
The vibrant fall colors and cooler temperatures make for great days out on the golf course. The Island invites you to experience the best of fall golf with late season rounds at Sweetgrass or Sage Run. Fall golf rates run September 15th through the end of the 2025 season, with tee times starting at $75 and stay and play packages from $125. And submit your 2026 golf package requests early to guarantee choice dates. Plan your fall golf adventure today at islandresortgolf.com.
It's Jason Wilde from Wilde & Tausch. Upgrade your industrial supply services with Lakeland Supply, your trusted ISO certified partner for custom packaging, shipping supplies, janitorial, and safety supply solutions. With over 40 years of industry excellence, Lakeland Supply is a proven one-stop source with over 95% of their products made in the U.S., and they treat their customers like family. Personalized service with a national reach. That's what Lakeland Supply does. Visit lakelandsupply.com to discover how they can make your business better.
Game day in Green Bay means friends, food, football, and fun. But first, make sure your ride looks the part. Whether you're rolling up to the tailgate, headed to the watch party, or just cruising around town, a clean car sets the tone for victory. At Tsunami Express Car Wash, you'll get a fast, premium shine every time. Plus, free vacuums and detailing tools keep things looking spotless inside and out. With 13 locations and growing across Wisconsin, it's easy to swing through your way to the action. Kick off game day the right way. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat.
Football's back, and if you're headed up toward Green Bay, the perfect stop is Higher Love Cannabis Company, just seconds over the border in Menominee, Michigan. Less than an hour from Green Bay. An easy stop before or after the game or anytime you're passing through town. And with so many low-quality, unregulated CBD products floating around Wisconsin, trust matters. Higher Love, award-winning, organically grown, locally owned, and the real deal. Higher Love Cannabis Company, best in the Midwest. Visit findhigherlove.com/CBD.
Hot Wheels fan, are you ready for the all-new Blow and Fire? Come watch your favorite Hot Wheels monster trucks fly, crash, and smash with all new stunts and featuring the world premiere of Galasaurus with thrilling freestyle motocross and the fire-breathing robot Transaurus. Meet the Hot Wheels monster trucks up close at the pre-show party, presented by Metro by T-Mobile, sponsored by Meyer. Kids tickets are up to 50% off. Coming September 13th and 14th to Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. Welcome back to Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Why do I second guess myself? Their colors are burgundy and gold. I had it right the first time, and I second guessed myself.
Good guess.
Then our producer tried to call me dumb, ridiculous. All right, Green Bay Game Day presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
Just because you were right about this doesn't mean the producer was wrong. Those are two different.
Thanks,
two
Gabe.
different.
All right, I'm glad I'm between you guys.
All right,
move it away. Move it away.
Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen in the third hour of this program when it's down to me and Gabe. We'll find out. Alex Strouf, Gabe Neitzel, Steve Scaffidi with you. As always, segment number 3 means we get to talk to the 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, our buddy from ESPN.com. You see him on TV. You read him on ESPN. He is the bold, the bald, the beautiful. The great Rob Demovsky joins us now for the second time in 5 days. Good afternoon, Rob.
Trophy, it's good to be with you again on such a short turnaround.
It is, indeed. And obviously this feels like another heavyweight bout, which I called it on Sunday between the Packers and the Lions. Here we go with a team that was in the NFC Championship game a year ago and a quarterback that won Offensive Rookie of the Year. Should be hopefully a little bit more competitive of a game. Not that the lack of competitiveness last week was a bad thing, but it's kind of a snooze fest against the 15-win team from a year ago. What do you're expecting a little bit more of a competitive battle between these two teams tonight?
Well, the interesting thing, too, is that, like, if they win tonight, let's say they win, they will have then, done what they couldn't do last year all season, and that's beat anybody that was any good, right? Because that was the whole thing last year. What was their best win last year? Maybe the Texans in the regular season? Is that maybe their best?
Probably their best
win? So now here, if they would beat, the team that was the division winner in 1 week, and then a team that was in the NFC Championship game 5 days later. So to me, that would make a pretty strong statement to open the season, regardless of whether it's a blowout or a close game. If they win this one, I think it puts to rest something that we talked about for, 6-8 months now, is that could they beat anybody any good? And, I guess it's a new season, so you still don't know for sure if Detroit is going to be any good and Washington's going to be any good, but they were sure pretty good last year.
Hey, Rob, did the coaches, Hafley, LaFleur, talk about the difference between facing a Goff versus Daniels?
Yeah, Steve, it's like facing a knuckleballer one day and a guy who throws 101 miles an hour the next, right? I mean, it's totally different. And look, I don't want to take anything away from Micah Parsons' sack, and it was awesome. That was the fastest that he had ever run on any sack, according to the NFL Next Gen stats, at 18.5 miles an hour. But he was chasing a guy who was running 14 miles an hour. And I'm not kidding. That's what the Next Gen numbers said. So totally different kind of offense, totally different kind of quarterback. But I'm sure that their game plan. I will say this: going back and rewatching the game the next day on Monday, their gap, and this may sound boring, but their gap integrity, gap control was maybe the best I've seen it from a Packers defense in a long, long time. They didn't get out of their lanes. They didn't get out of their rush lanes. There was nowhere for ball carriers or quarterbacks to go. I thought the front seven was outstanding in that regard. And that, from that regard, it doesn't change tonight. That still has to happen for them to be successful defensively tonight, even if it's a different time. In fact, it's probably more important in a game like tonight.
Rob, it's funny how questionable can mean one thing for one guy and another for another, because Micah Parsons is listed as questionable, yet we all know Micah Parsons is playing
R.I.P. probable.
Potentially more snaps even than he did last week, but there are guys that I think are actually questionable, like Aaron Banks, like Zach Tom.
Yep.
What's the likelihood that we see one, both, neither?
So, Gabe, if we could have probable back, we would have Micah Parsons as probable, and we would probably have Zach Tom and Aaron Banks as doubtful. From what I talked to somebody last night that said it was at that point looking like a long shot that those guys would play. It sounded like they were preparing to start Darian Kennard at right tackle, who was pretty darn good pickup, I guess, by Goody at the right at the cutdown day when he traded a 6th-round pick for him, and he stepped in and played pretty well at the end there the other night. And then you would assume that Jordan Morgan would jump over to left guard and start there. So I still think they're okay. I talked to somebody, and they said they weren't overly concerned about those guys missing multiple weeks, but this week seemed like maybe it would be a bit of a stretch for both those offensive linemen.
What about Nate Hobbs, who's also questionable?
Yeah, that's an interesting one because we didn't see practice at all, and they really didn't practice, so we didn't see anything on the field this week. If he wasn't okay to go Sunday, I don't know that they would have done anything in the last 3 or 4 days for him to show that he could go this time. They didn't practice. So, unless it's just how does he feel kind of thing, and they didn't need to see anything. But I have my doubts there, although that is pure speculation. I have not talked to anybody about that one. No one would say.
Yeah, if the roster moves real quick, Gabe, or any indication today, I don't know how I feel about any of their chances. Tackle Brant Banks up, as is the 7th-round pick cornerback Michael Robinson.
Yeah, but Bo Melton ruled out.
Good point.
So, again, I don't know, because typically the rule, correct me if I'm wrong, Rob, but if you're playing on a Thursday, typically the thought is if you miss that game Sunday, chances are you're not going to be playing Thursday, which is why I thought it was so interesting that Hobbs was listed as questionable, despite, like you said, nothing really happening this week. I just thought that was interesting.
I think the problem with the injury reports now is they just list everybody as questionable. So, and your example right off the top with Parsons and then the two linemen, I mean, they have the same status, but they're not the same.
Rob Demovsky of ESPN.com with us ahead of Packers Commanders.
So we're talking a lot about the defense. Obviously, Micah Parsons makes us do that. But for me, it's like, what happens to Josh Jacobs? He had a rough first half, and all of a sudden had some burst in the second half, did what he had to do at the right time. I actually expect a big day from him tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it sort of depends on how teams want to play him. I mean, it was obvious that Detroit was not going to allow number 8 to get going early in that game. I mean, that's what they committed to do. And that's why I think you saw a few downfield throws that were successful early in the game. I think the throw, to Kraft, the throw to Dobbs, even the Wicks throw was more of an intermediate throw, but those were open probably because they were committing so much to the run. I do think with this team, it's like there's not a receiver that you have to double cover, but if you double cover the running back, then you leave receivers open one-on-one, and they're probably good enough to make plays one-on-one.
Do you think it's going to be receiver by committee, or will somebody finally emerge this year?
No, I don't think so. I think it's going to be by committee, Gabe. Nothing that we've seen from this offense last year in training camp, preseason, and week one tells me any different. Now, do I think Matthew Golden's going to get more than 2 targets in most games? Yes. Is there a chance that someone is their leading receiver with more than 3 catches tonight? Yes. But I just don't know that we're going to get the same guy night in, night out, week in, week out that's going to be a 8-catch, 90-yard, 2-touchdown guy. I just don't know that their offense is designed that way. And I'm sure one or more of these guys could be that guy. It just doesn't seem like at this point that's the way they want to play.
And one guy got a contract extension this week, but he hasn't played yet. And Christian Watson, a 1-year, $13.25 million contract extension.
Yeah, Alex, that's exactly the way I thought the Christian Watson thing would go down. I just didn't think it would go down this early or for that much money. Like back in January when he got hurt, I said, well, okay, this actually helps the Packers in terms of delaying whether they have to decide whether to give him a long-term contract extension by a year. That they'll probably do. I thought after he came back in early November, mid-November, they would do a 1-year, $6 to $8 million deal. I didn't expect it to be 13, and I didn't expect it to be on September 10th.
As long as we're talking about wide receivers, Jayden Reed. So he only plays 18 snaps on offense, but then he's also returning punts.
Yeah, I don't.
So what's going on with the punt return thing? And I know Reed is somebody that they almost exclusively play out of the slot, Rob. But is that just getting back there on punts a way that they feel like they can get him more touches?
That's a great question. And special teams coordinator Rich Bisaccia, who is normally fantastic with us.
I heard he was grumpy.
90 seconds, I think.
1 minute and 49 seconds on my recorder. Oof. and that probably included the 5 seconds that he walked to the podium and the 5 seconds that he walked away from the podium. I don't know. I don't know what was. I hope nothing was wrong in Rich's personal life. I hope everything's okay. But he was not in the mood to entertain questions, and so we really didn't even get a chance to get him going. I wonder that exact question myself. Why is if he's only playing 18 snaps on offense, and it's limited because of injury, why are you putting him back there? Maybe it's just because they trust him so much that he's not going to turn it over. But it's a huge – I don't know. I wish I had an answer to that. I don't know, and I'm curious about that myself.
Last thing, as always, for ESPN's Rob Demovsky, 2-0 or 1-1 walking out of Lambeau tonight?
I think it's 2-0, and the crazy thing is, and I can't remember if we talked about this on Sunday, but regardless of what happens tonight, 25% of their home games are over. After tonight, that's I mean, nuts. Obviously, anybody who opens with 2 home games in a row, that's the way it's going to be if you're on the 8 home game rotation. But so soon, right? It's Thursday of week 2, and that much of their home schedule is done, which I think makes it even more important to get this one, get a 2-0 start, give yourself a real chance to be 4-0 at the bye week. Because it's going to get tougher later in the year.
A mini-bye coming up for the Packers and a sort of mini-bye coming up for Rob Demovsky, though. He's still going to be on all of our shows next week. Thanks, Rob.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Our guest picker is coming up next from ESPN Radio's Unsportsmanlike. Michelle Smallman joins us right after the break. It's Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
More Green Bay Game Day coming up on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
I've been to my fair share of green and gold games, and the best way to get there is with Accutrans Group. At Good Karma Brands and ESPN Milwaukee, we use Accutrans Group to get our partners to and from Green Bay, and it's always first class. From stadiums to concerts and tailgates, your game day fun starts the moment you step on board. Sit back, relax, and let their professional chauffeurs handle the traffic while you enjoy the ride. Accutrans Group is Milwaukee's premier ground transportation, available 24/7 with sedans, SUVs, limos, vans, and buses. Book today at AccuTransGroup.com.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde. Our family loves when Kringle from Racine Danish Kringles arrives at our home. And now football season has arrived, so try the green and gold Kringle. Traditional pecan Kringle and cheesecake Kringle topped with green and gold sprinkles. A crowd pleaser at any game day party. Order today at Kringle.com or 1-800-4DANISH. Easy to remember. Kringle.com or 1-800-4DANISH. Racine Danish Kringles, not just a treat, it's a tradition and the official pastry of ESPN Wisconsin.
With 18 unforgettable holes on 250 acres of natural private land, the Bog provides the ultimate golf experience. To book your next tee time, call 262-284-7075 or visit golfthebog.com. Enjoy golf. Enjoy the Bog.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org.
With your UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, I'm Will Summers. In her first high school meet, Port Washington freshman Amanda Lotz shattered the school's 100-yard backstroke record by an impressive 5 seconds. Lotz continued her standout performance by slicing 13 seconds off the Kohler Pool record in the 500 freestyle. She also topped her own school record in the 100 backstroke, setting a new pool record by 6 seconds. Her dominant swims played a crucial role in leading the Pirates to a narrow 91-89 victory over the Blue Bombers. Congratulations to Port Washington's Amanda Lotz, your UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats.
Now through Wednesday, save on 48-ounce selected varieties Stone Ridge ice cream, 2 for $7. 7-ounce selected varieties Banquet pot pies, 5 for $5. 4 to 6-count selected varieties Dannon multi-pack yogurt, 2 for $6. 6 to 12-count selected varieties Ice Mountain spring water, 2 for $5.
I am starving.
Oh no, never walk into a Century when you're hungry.
Unless it's free sample day. Ooh, pizza, yes. I'd love to try that one.
My husband thinks he can make a meal out of grocery store samples.
Need to wash this down. I think I see someone handing out samples in the liquor department.
Geez, can we focus on our list?
What's this?
It says you can win 2 tickets to Green Bay's home game against Chicago on December 7th.
Or autographed footballs, or a 4-pack of Green Bay Hall of Fame tickets.
You have to enter through Century's Facebook or Instagram.
I'll be entering this on my phone in the deli next to that cheese sample station.
I'm shopping at Century alone next time.
Enter by November 12th.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit fighting to save lives, protect our climate, and strengthen our economy through the shift to zero emissions. Visit us at earthjustice.org. Earth Justice, because the Earth needs a good lawyer.
This is Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
We roll on Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, live from the Tundra Trio in the shadow of Lambeau Field. Alex Strouf, Gabe Neitzel, the mayor, Steve Scaffidi.
Yes!
Well, not anymore.
Special guest.
And
well,
now
you never lose the title, but this is a special guest.
Oh, is that like president, mayor?
Exactly like, no, not exactly like president, but you never lose the title. That's true. Get to the guest.
I didn't realize
Jesus.
that. Joining us now, our guest picker. The last time we had her in this trailer was the NFL draft a few months back.
Oh, yeah.
And here she is again. I don't know if I can call her the newest Packers fan anymore, because I imagine some babies have been born into it, but she's still a new Packers fan.
Still the newest celebrity Packers fan.
That's true. That's very true. From ESPN Radio's Unsportsmanlike, weekday mornings from 5 to 9 a.m. Central, 5 to 7. Leading into Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on ESPN Milwaukee. It is Smalls. Michelle Smallman is here. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for having me. And I guess I'm kind of still in my infancy stage.
Oh, yeah, true.
Right, I'm not a baby anymore. We're growing up. But it's been great. Ever since I became a Packers fan, we have gone to the playoffs. We drafted a wide receiver for the first time in 23 years. We get Micah Parsons.
Maybe it's you.
You're a good luck charm, I think.
You guys, I kind of am. All my teams have won. The Cardinals, the Blues, the Rams when they were in St. Louis. Greatest show on turf. It's time for the Packers to get it done.
And obviously the move they made a few weeks ago, indicative of what they think they can do in 2025 by trading for Micah Parsons. Are you still living in a euphoria like we are with that trade? Because it still seems like we're living in a dream a little bit.
It's kind of hard to believe that it's true. Watching them versus the Lions last week, when he checked in for that first series and immediately made an impact, you're like, okay, this is happening. Then when you watch him just absolutely chase down Jared Goff, you're like, we're going to be in for some fun this year. This is going to be awesome. And Canty pointed it out on our show on Sportsmanlike. As the former player, he said, I always watch the sideline. I watch how guys respond to the new guy. He goes, and the way that those guys, his teammates, his new teammates responded to that sack tells you how hyped they are to have him there. And that energy is just something that's going to continue to build and they're going to continue to feed off of. But he's invigorated this team, and they probably thought they had a chance before. But imagine going out there now and being like, we got this guy on our side. It's a whole new swag.
Michelle, you talk about all the teams. You cover everything in sports. And, we're biased. I'm a Packers fan, been for a long time. We're already excited about a season, and then you put Micah Parsons in the mix. I mean, what is the rest of the league saying? What are they talking about this team and this acquisition?
They're like, watch out for the Packers.
Yeah.
Like I said, they were a team that many had put in the NFC conversation for Super Bowl contenders before, but you went from maybe that 5 to 7 range of teams in the NFC to 1 to 3. I mean, this puts you in a firm category of it's kind of Super Bowl or bust. And it's been really fun to watch the national reaction to this. I will never forget where, this Micah Parsons deal is one of those. I remember where I was when I was in because I was going to Bristol to host a show, and I had just pulled in the parking lot of the hotel, and I unplugged my phone, and I looked down, and I have a push notification from Adam Schefter that says they traded for Micah Parsons. And, now on social media, there's people with blue checks that are really the people you have to be very serious.
A darn Schefter.
Yes, exactly.
The fake count.
I'm like, is someone pranking me? This can't be real. And sure enough, it was. But ever since then, and especially compounding it with the dominant full team win that we saw versus the Lions last Sunday, everybody's saying that if they're not in the NFC Championship game with the Eagles or maybe the Commanders that we'll see tonight, it will be a big upset. That's how good this team is.
As I was pulling into the driveway today with the people I drove up with, we kind of talked about how maybe we take being here at the Tundra Trio in the shadow of Lambeau Field maybe for granted a little bit.
Yeah.
As somebody who doesn't live here and is a Packers fan, how special is this place?
You probably do take it for granted. And it reminds me a little bit of being a Cardinals fan.
Sure.
This is on a totally different level, but the Cardinals obviously have a rich history like the Packers. Busch Stadium is a special place to play, and kind of like the Packers, not right now, the Cardinals aren't great, but we've had such consistent success, and there's that expectation, that standard, that you don't realize how other fan bases have it. You don't realize how, it's special, but imagine being a fan of the Dolphins right now.
Oh, God.
Do you know what I mean? They're awful.
No, thank you.
And they're not going to get any better, and they haven't been good for a long time, and it's just kind of all right, well, we live in South Beach. To come here and feel the history, to feel how special it is, and be in the shadow of Lambeau is awesome.
What went into your decision to pick the Packers?
Well, I'm a Midwest girl, so I wanted...
All right, there's other teams in the Midwest.
There are, and my final 3 were the Jets, the Bears, and the Packers. But when I said the Jets were in the top 3, I heard from many Jets fans who were like, do not do this. I was born into this. I can't escape it. Don't actively choose it.
Good advice.
So it came down to the Bears and the Packers. And I'm from St. Louis, but on the Illinois side of the river. I went to the University of Illinois. I don't cheer for any Chicago teams. Obviously, St. Louis hates Chicago. But I thought, the Monsters of the Midway, maybe it's something that I could gel onto. But then the more I thought about the Packers, the more I identified with them. It's just a great franchise that's always stable. They're consistent. They're going to be in the mix. And it's great fans. this is my 4th time here at Lambeau now, which is so crazy to say. Every time I come here, I'm so embraced by Packer backers. They want you to come here and have the best time. They want you to come here and walk away being like, that's the best football experience I ever had. So they won me over.
So that's great to hear. But now they're not the only Wisconsin team making a run at you, it seems, because tomorrow at American Family Field, throwing out the ceremonial first pitch, it's Cardinals, your team, taking on the Brewers, the best team in baseball.
Yep.
You're throwing out the first pitch tomorrow.
I know, a lot of pressure there.
What are you wearing before we get to the actual pitch? Are you going to wear? You can't wear Cardinals gear.
Oh my God, of course not.
Okay, I was about to say, because as much as we love you, you'd probably get booed.
Of course,
like
I would.
we boo Craig Couch. He used to be one of ours.
Yes,
and we boo him heartily.
Of course, as you should. He's not yours anymore.
No,
he's not. He's wearing different laundry. No. Even though I'm from St. Louis and obviously grew up a Cardinal fan, I would never disrespect the Brewers that way. I mean,
just confirming.
They are so generous to allow me to do this. It's a true honor. It's on my bucket list. I kind of can't believe they're letting me do this. So I would never go into their house and disrespect them in that way. I'm from the Midwest. You know, we have manners. We're polite.
So what's the outfit? Are you going like neutral colors?
Yes, neutral. I'm going to wear like something kind of like what I'm wearing now, which is like jeans and a gray T-shirt.
Will there be blue accents? Or gold?
Well, you know what? I packed a carry-on, so I only have a limited option.
Okay, fair enough. Knowing the Brewers, they're going to try to put a jersey on you.
Oh, will they?
So that would be interesting how you sort that out.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll
You'll
cross
welcome
that bridge when we get
Let's
there.
cross that bridge
we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Maybe they don't want me to rep that. Maybe they just want me to rep ESPN and rep Unsportsmanlike. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, you're doing a good job right now in Green Bay Game Day. Michelle Smallman, our guest picker from ESPN Radio's Unsportsmanlike. That time has come. You're here. We know you're picking the Packers, but is it close? Is it not close? What are you expecting tonight? Jayden Daniels, Jordan Love, Packers Commanders Thursday Night Football.
Well, obviously I'm picking the Packers, but not only because I'm Harriet the Homer and a Packer backer now, but I truly think that they're the better team.
Yeah.
Jayden Daniels is such a special and dynamic talent, and I think that it's going to be close. But when I think about the way that the Packers dominated the Lions, the team that owned the division last year, the most explosive offense in football, and what that defense did to them, I'm interested to see if they're able to neutralize Jayden Daniels tonight, but I think the Packers are going to take it.
Go get yourself a cocktail and some cheese curds. Enjoy the game tonight.
Thank you.
And don't try to lose too much sleep over the first pitch tomorrow night at AmFam.
You'll be awesome.
I hope so. Please send me all your good vibes. I can't embarrass us. And by us, I mean Packer fans. So I'm representing you guys, too, now.
Aim high. It'll be perfect.
So, legendary Cardinals pitching coach Dave Duncan, one time my former co-host in St. Louis, threw out a first pitch. We had him on to give advice, and he said, aim high and let it fly.
Yep.
Throw it higher and farther than you think you need to.
I like advice, especially when it rhymes.
Aim high and let it fly.
I love it. I love it. Michelle Smallman from ESPN Radio's Unsportsmanlike. Hour 2 of Green Bay Game Day coming up right after this on ESPN Wisconsin.
Stay right here. Green Bay Game Day will be right back on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Your path to a degree should fit your life, not the other way around. At Lakeland University, you can personalize every part of your college experience. With a main campus in Sheboygan, evening classes across the state, and flexible online options, you choose how and when you learn. Just graduated high school, changing careers, juggling work and life, they've got options for you. You can even earn credit for experience you already have, or for the work you're doing now, saving time and money. Start customizing your future today at lakeland.edu/ESPN. Lakeland University. Experience it your way.
Hey sports fans, looking to level up your next private event? V Private Bar Services is your game changer. Move beyond the ordinary. V Private Bar Services crafts custom cocktails tailored to your brand and your guests' taste. Imagine a bar experience that's as unique as your business. Our expert mixologists will create a memorable experience that your clients and team will rave about. From signature cocktails to full-service bars, we've got you covered. Be the MVP of your next event. Visit vprivatebar.com to book today.
Hey, it's Kyle Wallace. September is here and the kids are back in school, vacations are winding down, and for a lot of us that means one thing: time to refocus on the house. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free, no limit, and to make it even easier, you'll get 0% financing for 3 years. So no interest and no pressure. Don't wait for the first freeze to realize your windows aren't cutting it. Call 414-410-2000 or visit universalwindowsdirect.com to book your free estimate today. You'll be ahead of the game, and like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
The vibrant fall colors and cooler temperatures make for great days out on the golf course. The Island invites you to experience the best of fall golf with late season rounds at Sweetgrass or Sage Run. Fall golf rates run September 15th through the end of the 2025 season, with tee times starting at $75 and stay and play packages from $125. And submit your 2026 golf package requests early to guarantee choice dates. Plan your fall golf adventure today at islandresortgolf.com.
Hey, it's John McGivern here. You know I love Network Health. One of the reasons is that they're local and they understand how important that is. Their exceptional customer service isn't just words on a page. It's what they do. It's what they've always done for over 41 years. Call 833-7-NETWORK today. HMO and POS plans underwritten by Network Health Plan. Compensation has been provided for using this endorsement of Network Health.
Craving that crispy, cheesy, thick Detroit-style pizza? Well, now you got it with Screamin' Sicilian. Screamin' Sicilian delivers the crunch, the gooey cheese pull, and that light, airy crust that you love, all baked in its own pan for those crave-worthy caramelized edges straight from your home oven. You got the cheese, the pepperoni, multi-meat, or supreme. It's like dining out, but without the hefty bill. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer section. Screamin' Sicilian, Detroit-style, thick, crispy, unapologetically Screamin'.
Looking for a new car, truck, or SUV? Take the nearest exit to Wilde Automotive for 2025 model year clearance pricing. Save over $14,000 or get 0% financing. All makes, all models. Over 700 2025s in stock with model year clearance pricing. And with the Wilde low price guarantee, we'll beat your best price on a new vehicle by $500 or we'll give you $500 cash. Only at the Wilde model year clearance sales event. When they're gone, they're gone. Select model, we've got the dealer for details. Month end.
Hot Wheels fan, are you ready for the all-new Blow and Fire? Come watch your favorite Hot Wheels monster trucks fly, crash, and smash with all new stunts and featuring the world premiere of Galasaurus with thrilling freestyle motocross and the fire-breathing robot Transaurus. Meet the Hot Wheels monster trucks up close at the pre-show party, presented by Metro by T-Mobile, sponsored by Meyer. Kids tickets are up to 50% off. Coming September 13th and 14th to Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune in to Kyle Bruston Nortman every day from 2 to 5, WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's time to get this tailgate started and get you ready for the green and gold game.
Love steps up on the run. Wide open, Jayden Reed. Make a man miss. Reed, goodbye. Touchdown, Packers.
This is Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Broadcasting live from the shadow of the south end zone at Lambeau Field. Alongside Gabe Neitzel and three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde. Here's Alex Strouf.
Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Just over 2 hours from kickoff. It's Thursday Night Football, Packers and Commanders here at Lambeau Field. I'm Alex Strouf alongside the mayor for one more segment, Steve Scaffidi. Mr. Worldwide, not Pitbull, Gabe Neitzel. And the three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, the genius, Jason Wilde.
Yes.
Joins us for the Jason Wilde.
Jason?
Why are you Mr. Worldwide?
That's what he calls me.
Because you're on a national show very frequently, and they're the worldwide leader in sports.
Bingo!
Did you see how I figured that out? The little light bulb went on and everything. It was
the
amazing.
genius figures it out.
Absolutely.
Shocker.
Makes sense.
Shocker. Jason, second time in 5 days. Here we are in the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio at Lambeau Field. Quick turnaround here for week 2.
It is, and I loved what Jeff Hafley said during the weeks. I mean, actually, I loved a bunch of things he said, and I used some of it for my story on channel3000.com about hitting the pause button and checking where all 11 guys are. I thought that was really interesting. But the best thing I heard him say was somebody asked him how hard it is for him from a game planning perspective. He said, yeah, look, it's not a lot of sleep, but I'm not the one who's got to go out there with my body and play, with basically 4 days of recovery, and this is a very physical game, and it's a very big ask, and the NFL does it every single week to 2 teams. The good news is, Gabe, it happens early in the season on this one, so you at least have not had 6 or 7 weeks piling up before you have to do the short week.
Well, as much as we've kind of wrung our hands over the years about the Packers being the youngest team in the league, the Commanders are the oldest team in the league. Is this a situation where that is an advantage, where you have the quick turnaround, and now Washington also has to travel? Packers at home, so they have that advantage.
Yeah, but both of those are advantages, right? But if you look at the injury report, I don't think the Packers have the advantage, right? I mean, I expect us to be told with 90 minutes before kickoff that neither one of those injured offensive linemen are playing, but I suppose it's possible that one of them manages to be active, but going against any team without 40% of your offensive line, old, traveling, not traveling, indifferent, is going to create a challenge.
awesome game Sunday. As a fan, teams are happy. Obviously, the arrival of Micah Parsons. What can they do between that game and this game in such a short amount of time? They barely practiced. Oldest, youngest, I get that, but this is a great team they're playing. What changes? What can they fix?
Yeah, good question, Steve. So they don't practice at all. All they do is jog through and walk through. So there is no the Thursday nights began in 2006, and back then, Mike McCarthy would practice them one of the days. It was always Tuesday, and it was like a legit practice. Like, he wouldn't put them in pads, but it would be like a 2-hour practice like you would normally have during the week if it wasn't a shortened week. And they've done completely away with that. LaFleur loves the phrase, it's above the neck, because it's all about, getting the game plan. But you don't get reps of things that you're going to be running. And if you want to try and do some different things, that makes it a little tougher. Now, I will say this, and I kind of busted LaFleur on it a couple weeks ago. He pretended that he didn't hear me, but he was looking at some Washington video, and I said, "Oh, what were you doing?" He had mentioned it in passing in an answer. "Oh, what were you doing? You doing a little working ahead?" No, I was just watching. No, you were working ahead.
That's what he does. That's what he does for fun on Wednesday nights, Jason. He just pops in some Commanders tape and pays attention.
Which is what you should be. Look, in all seriousness, I understand he didn't want it to sound like, oh, we're so confident in the Lions game that we're not focused fully on the Lions. No, when the schedule plays out like this, everyone in the league knows. If you want to try and use that as some sort of diss to the Lions, fine. But Campbell's not going to do that. He understands that they're going to be doing the same thing, and this was an advantage because it happens again so early in the calendar. Obviously, the drawback is they still have a Thanksgiving game, so it's not like they are done with Thursday games.
At least Thanksgiving feels a little bit different than a typical Thursday game, especially right out of the gates like this one is.
I think Thanksgiving is great if you win. Like Tausch will tell you the stories. Sure. The great thing about going to Detroit is that by the time you get on the plane and go home, you're still home in time for Thanksgiving dinner with your family. That's not the case in Dallas. They've obviously played a few times at night here on Thanksgiving, which is my personal favorite because then I'm covering the Thanksgiving game. I get the mini bye because the players love it and so do reporters.
And 2 Thanksgiving dinners,
and I'm
right?
at home.
Because you get one in the stadium and one at home.
Well, no, I live with vegetarians, so I have to pick up my own turkey if I'm going to have Thanksgiving.
I know a lot about you, and you speak a lot about your family. I never knew that.
Yeah, Sydney eats chicken tender. She's a fake.
That's not how that works. Is she aware that's not how that works?
Your kid for being a fake vegetarian.
No, she knows she's fake. The other 2 are hardcore.
Okay.
In the glow of that big win Sunday,
Steve wants to talk Packers.
From a journalist perspective, what's the biggest question tonight? In your mind,
I think there's a bunch of questions tonight.
Who returns the punts?
Well, I mean, look, you can go ask. I'll tell you what. Why don't you go ask Rich Bisaccia because he wasn't in the mood to talk about anything when we had him on Tuesday. That was, I seriously considered as that was playing out. Do I just ask him a barrage of questions just to force him to stay? Because Rich and I have a really good working relationship. We had one disagreement because I didn't know how close of friends he was with Joe Barry, and I asked him a question last season that was meant as a positive question about Jeff Hafley, and it put him in a bad spot. And he actually sought me out because he was an unpleasant person about that to me, and I did not appreciate that. And he sought me out in the locker room one day, and we talked it out and whatever else, and it was great. Now he and I, we say hello, everything. But then after that press conference, I was like, what is the deal here? Is it Bo Melton and Brenton Cox both being injured? Because I knew that those injuries, they were ruled out right away, and we all know when that happens, it's something fairly significant. Now, it's good news for Bo that they didn't put him on IR, but obviously Brenton Cox goes on IR today. So is he just angry that he lost 2 of his core special teams guys? Is it a short week, and he's an older guy, and he needs his rest? Whatever it is, he was unpleasant that day. So I can't answer that. I would think that it's going to be Jayden Reed sometimes. They're trying to give him some of that responsibility, but not have him out there because he's dealing with that fracture in his foot. So maybe it's Matthew Golden again. I think they're excited about what they have in Savion Williams because the fact that they changed out the running backs on the practice squad, Israel Abanaconda returned kicks in the preseason. So they've eliminated that. And for the second straight week, they did not call up McCole Hardman from the practice squad. So that tells me they're going to stick with the young guys on the returns.
What's your biggest question?
My biggest question is if this is a game where Jayden Daniels plays at a very high level somehow against the defense that we're all giddy about, and I'm part of it. I'm feeding into it. I'm not like washing my hands of that. But if Jayden Daniels plays at a really high level, is Jordan Love going to match that level? We saw him make some big-time throws. We always used to talk about wow throws. Those throws on third down when they converted their first 4 third downs were big-time. They never converted another third down the rest of the game, however.
That's fine.
And there was the one series where they ran it 3 times, and then there was the one play where he did the shuffle over out of the way,
right. So
they could direct snap to. That did not work very well. I'm glad they wasted it in that game. So my point is that look, there are going to be games, and we've talked about this a lot, right? There are going to be games where Jordan Love doesn't have to be Superman, as Tausch likes to say, because he always wants me to cite that because he's the only person who's ever used this analogy in the history of radio. But there are other games where he can be Clark Kent, and he doesn't have to make a ton of plays. But if he has to make a couple, is he going to make them? And I think evidence would say that he's more likely to make them than not.
Last week was the loudest you heard Lambeau since.
Oh, great question.
That is a great question. In terms of reacting to something that wasn't a game-winning play, it's probably the loudest. Period.
It's got to be close.
In terms of and I understand we all take digital photos now, but it's the photo negative of how loud it was booing Favre. If that makes sense.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay,
makes sense.
So that was really loud. But in terms of introductions, I will say in 2023, the first game, this crowd was, and it goes to show whether Rodgers did it on purpose or not, how much better he left it for his successor than Favre did for him. So instead of getting a mixed review like Rodgers did when he got introduced the first time, these people wanted to make sure that Jordan Love felt like they loved him. So if you think back to that announcement and that introduction, that was pretty loud too.
And then the 17-point comeback in that game, not to mention.
That was the Saints game. You're right.
Yeah.
So I mean, there wasn't a lot of cheering for him the first 3
No,
quarters.
there was not.
He was not very good.
I was at that game, but the fourth quarter it got real loud. I don't know if it was as loud as it was last week, but that was great.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be curious. The decibel thing that they pretend to do, I don't think that's actually hooked up to anything.
What?
I know.
I think you're right, Jason.
I hope I didn't ruin that for you.
You're right.
But I would be curious if real decibel measurement for the sack.
I got to be honest. Anytime
compare?
Gabe acts, it cracks me up.
We need to do more television commercials. I think he'd be really good at that.
I do too. All right, Mayor.
Yes.
You're about to depart us.
I am.
Final thoughts ahead of Packers Commanders.
I'm excited to watch. Anytime you can watch a primetime game at Lambeau Field is just an awesome experience. Given what we saw Sunday, albeit a statuette quarterback for the Lions, he's better than that. But, this guy's different. Mm-hmm. I want to see what this revamped defense, this Micah Parsons defense, led by Jeff Hafley, does with this team. If they do what they did Sunday, then we got something.
Then you can build the Jeff Hafley statue. I assume you picked them to win.
I do.
Yeah. Fair
I think 28-14, 28-17, something like that.
Okay, good game. Good game.
Yeah.
A couple more points than the Lions scored last week. That's Steve Scaffidi from Point Taken on 620 WTMJ with us for each and every home game here on Green Bay Game Day. Gabe, Jason, and I roll on after this, but first we're here at the Tundra Trio tailgate, and it wouldn't be Wisconsin football without brats on the grill and Coop's mustard on top. Coop's is part of our game day tradition, from classic yellow to spicy brown to jalapeno. They bring the flavor. Coop's Mustard, spreading the love since 1897. More Green Bay Game Day coming up right after this.
We're back with Green Bay Game Day after this on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
At Alpha Custom Apparel, we create standout corporate apparel and promotional gear that makes a lasting impression. Whether it's polos for your next conference, branded jackets for your sales team, or eye-catching giveaways for a client event, we've got you covered. We offer a concierge-like experience for businesses who want more. More customization, more creativity, more impact. From concept to delivery, we help brands big and small show up looking their best, with speed, style, and attention to detail. Create with us today at alphacustomapparel.com.
ESPN Radio Sports Beat with Freddie Coleman.
So that was what the fuss was all about with J.J. McCarthy, the quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings. Although, boy, oh boy, it didn't look that way early on. The first 3 quarters against the Chicago Bears, Minnesota Vikings down 17-6. J.J. McCarthy throwing that pick 6, and plenty of people, maybe even you on social media, were saying, hey, J.J. McCarthy, welcome to the NFL. But then in the fourth quarter, J.J. McCarthy said, hey, NFL, welcome to my world. Any play that needed to be made with his arm, with his legs, with his head, with his mind, everything came and manifested itself in that fourth quarter. Whatever play needed to be made, J.J. McCarthy was at the forefront of it. So that's what the fuss was all about. That's why Minnesota said, we don't need Aaron Rodgers and go after him. We don't need to keep Sam Darnold. All we needed was dynamite J.J. McCarthy, and that's what he was in his hometown Chicago, winning his first ever NFL start. In 60 seconds, relax, Bears fans. Your quarterback, Caleb Williams, will be just fine.
From kickoff to cash out, ESPN Bet has the tools you need to score more on game days. Bet smarter with stats at your fingertips. Get personalized parlays built just for you. And with your fantasy team synced right in the app, you can back your squad. Right now, new customers get $100 in bonus bets when you bet $10. Sign up with promo code USL to get started. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
GNC knows that you're not always feeling it at the gym, but don't get down, get lit, and get more out of every workout. Beyond Raw Lit is a clinically dosed pre-workout that flips the switch and gives you more energy, focus, intensity, and pumps. The perfect combo for a killer workout. Plus, it's got incredible flavors and thousands of 5-star reviews, so you know it's good. Pick it up at GNC stores or go to GNC.com.
Boy, didn't that look really, really special early with Caleb Williams, quarterback of the Chicago Bears, with the new head coach / play caller Ben Johnson, completing his first 10 passes, running for his first NFL touchdown. Visions of Super Bowls dancing in the heads of Chicago Bears fans in 2025. But then, they completely fell apart in the fourth quarter, and give a lot of credit to the Minnesota Vikings defense that made Caleb Williams go from Superman to not even Robin, to not even Ant-Man, especially in the fourth quarter, reverting back to a lot what we saw last year. But remember, Chicago Bears fans, he is in good hands, not just with his talent, but the head coach in charge of things, Ben Johnson. It's going to be a lot more right than wrong. And maybe, just maybe, the Bears could be a playoff team when it's all said and done this year. But Bears fans, RELAX, relax. Caleb is going to be just fine at quarterback. For the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Freddie Coleman of ESPN Radio's Freddie and Harry.
Hi, I'm Jim Frucci, Managing Partner and PGA Professional at Morningstar Golfers Club, and I'd like to personally invite you to play your next round of golf at Morningstar. Lush green fairways, velvet smooth greens, magnificent vistas from high above our championship golf course. Morningstar was created with the serious golfer in mind, and it continues to be the public course by which all other area public courses are measured. Book your tee time today and reserve a spot on our membership wait list. Come out and see what all of Southeast Wisconsin's been talking about. Hey, you played the rest. Now play the best.
You're listening to Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
But that don't change the show.
Green Bay Game Day presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Alex Strouf, Gabe Neitzel, Jason Wilde hanging out with you live from the Tundra Trio just outside the south end zone of Lambeau Field. It's Thursday night football. Packers, Commanders both got a win in week one. These two Titans go toe-to-toe here in week number 2. The Commanders fresh off an NFC Championship game appearance last year, losing to the Eagles, the eventual Super Bowl champions. The Packers back-to-back playoff team, so this just feels like another big one here at Lambeau Field.
Jason, did you have to deal with Tausch whining that he had to have an Amazon Prime subscription to watch this game?
Of course he did.
I did not, because they are Amazon Prime members, so they can get their free shipping.
Now, that's something I don't understand, and I lived in Madison for 4 years. The Madison market doesn't get local TV for Packers games on.
They're not right, because they're not the local market.
But Milwaukee is because of the ticket package.
Correct.
Got it. And they obviously used to play games down there.
Right. So I don't know how many other NFL teams have this, but Green Bay has 2 designated home markets. Green Bay Fox Cities, and Milwaukee. Now, remember, I spent the majority of my writing career for the Madison newspaper, the Wisconsin State Journal. And so, like, for example, when the Packers played the Dallas Cowboys that magical night in 2007 with Bryant Gumbel and Chris Collinsworth on the call.
On the NFL Network.
On the NFL Network, the cable carrier in Madison had not. That was back when the NFL Network was having a very difficult time getting their program, getting their channel on cable packages. So they started showing games because that'll force them to add our channel. Well, if you live in Green Bay, Fox Cities, you live in Milwaukee, they put it on a local station. I don't know who has. Does Fox 6 have it tonight?
Fox 6 has it
Milwaukee.
tonight.
Yep. And so you're fine. Not so if you're in Madison. So
I was in Platteville. I was in college at the time. The number of people jammed into the one sports bar in Platteville that had it at the ticket. Luckily, it was just a couple of blocks away from the house I was living in at the time. Like, so many people were jammed in there because it was such a big game. Packers, Cowboys were the top two teams in the NFC that year, and it was for potentially who's going to be the number one seed. And obviously went to the Cowboys, who ended up being the number one seed in 2007. But the number of people that jammed in there for that game, I will never forget that.
Hey, Green and Gold fans, it is game day. Kick off your tailgate with Bacardi. Whether it's a Bacardi and Cola, lime and soda, or spiced in Cola, Bacardi is your game day go-to. Grab a bottle at your local retailer. Live passionately. Drink responsibly. Bacardi USA, Miami, Florida. Rum 40% alcohol by volume. Alex Strouf, Jason Wilde, Gabe Neitzel with you on Green Bay game day. We talked a little bit about the quarterback battle before, Jason, but I'm just fascinated with Jayden Daniels versus Jared Goff the first 2 weeks.
They're not playing each other, though.
No, but I'm saying they're very different quarterbacks.
They are. Very much.
And
like you and me.
Yeah. I think we have some similarities. I don't know that either of us are particularly mobile.
Well, I know you're not.
Likewise.
He keeps trying to take everybody down with him in the athletic
exactly.
thing.
Don't build people up. Don't try.
You just knocked me down.
Well, it's because you put out your athleticism for the world.
Talk
to
about
see.
Jayden Daniels.
I love you, buddy. Yeah, look, he is a different. I mean, he ran for 891 yards last year. Did Jordan Love, between the injuries and the way he placed it, he didn't even get to 100.
No, he did not.
He had like 87 or something like that, if I remember.
It might have been lower than
I think it might have been 47.
Oh, even less.
Yeah, I think it was less.
And then he had the play last week where he ran out and then he slipped. His feet went out from
I will
under
say
him.
you made me feel a lot better than that because watching it the first time, and I'm not a nerd like Gabe. I don't watch the game
sliding
back.
on purpose.
I thought he attempted to slide and then slipped, but he just didn't attempt to slide at all.
No.
Okay. I don't know if that makes me feel better or worse, to be honest.
Look, again, as someone who wants you to avoid those types of hits as the quarterback, I don't know how you say that when you're watching what Patrick Mahomes was doing in their game, right? I mean, he's lowering shoulders and stuff.
He initiated some of the contact.
Which was nice to see as opposed to that Weasley move that he would do where he would pretend he's going out of bounds and then not, and then get a penalty out of the deal on top of it, which
Was that Jonathan Owens?
Yeah, I think so, yes. Good
right,
pull. Yeah. So look, he is a vastly different quarterback. Now, Micah Parsons was very clear during the week that he thinks he's the antidote for that, right? And he had 4.5 sacks. And he basically said, yeah, you guys can muddle rush and keep lane integrity all you want, but I'm faster than that, so I'm going to do it my way. And I'm eager to see how that plays out tonight because I get it.
And it's just such a different feeling, Jason, going into a game like this where I feel like I've been terrified of quarterbacks like this when the Packers have gone up against them the last handful of years. But now with Micah Parsons, it's honestly like, I can't wait to see what he does. I can't wait to see what this defense does with a test like that, the way they play.
Well, at the end of the day, we all believe Daniels is going to get his to some degree.
Yeah,
right?
It's not like he's going to have 0 yards rushing.
I also
or anything
don't
like
believe.
that.
I think you and I are in agreement. I'm not expecting a Kaepernickian performance, if you will. From him.
but also, Jason, I think some of that is.
How'd I do that?
That's good. That was really good, actually.
Not just Micah Parsons, but Hafley plays a lot of zone, or has
so they have
traditionally.
Eyes to the quarterback.
So they have eyes to the quarterback,
Precisely.
and then they have athletic linebackers that can also help kind of mitigate the damage that Daniels is going to do. Because Daniels is going to escape the pocket. He's going to get across the line of scrimmage. He's going to get some rushing yards. It's just the way it works when you run for around 900 yards as a quarterback. But I think the athleticism, the team athleticism that they have outside of Micah, also is going to help contain that.
Yeah, I should have included that in my 3 things to watch. I really just focused on Micah Parsons being the difference maker.
I mean,
but you're right.
Hard not to.
And so that to me is one of the things that I'm most curious about tonight is what is Jayden Daniels going to do? Because look, they are going back to Strouf's question, they are vastly different quarterbacks in a 5-day span that this defense is facing. And if they can do to Jayden Daniels what they did to Jared Goff in a different way, right? Jared Goff, it's get him off the spot, get him out of rhythm, knock your wide receivers so their timing is off, and you're in a good spot. If they can disrupt Jayden Daniels in a similar way and not get burned by him running with the football, then they're going to win 2 games in a row, and they're going to be feeling really good about where their defense is at.
Gary had a sack and a half. LVN had a great half of a sack. The way he was able to push that guard back. Yeah, right? Did most of the work on that one.
He did.
Is that the Micah Parsons effect, or are these guys growing? Is it a little bit of both?
Yeah, I'm sure it's both, right? I mean, both those guys, they're the second year in the system, but that's the Micah Parsons effect. Well,
because now you can drop LVN into the inside.
Right. And look, Micah Parsons is a smart guy. Now, he may not always be the most thoughtful guy when it comes to should I say something or not, as he told us when he got here. I'm going to say some things I shouldn't. And, he's kind of testing those waters already, right?
Well, you didn't like the trick play things? You think his coaching staff wasn't a big fan of him going, oh, trick plays? No, line up and
I double dog dare you to run a trick play now. But he's a really smart guy, right? And he knows he took LVN's job. Like, he gets it. So he's really been smart about wrapping his arms around him, figuratively and literally, and saying, hey, man, this is going to be his best season. I mean, the fact that he said that on Sunday after the game tells me that he's dedicated to try and helping him do that. But look, those 2 sacks are the Micah Parsons effect. The interception by Evan Williams is a great play by Evan Williams, don't get me wrong, but it's the pressure that creates the opportunity. The 11 hats to the ball and the thing that I wrote about with the pause button, and are they all rallying to the ball, and Jeff Hafley saying it's the best he's ever seen it. That, too, is the Micah Parsons effect because they're excited, they're bought in. He's doing it even though he doesn't have as many reps in practice. So all of that comes together, and now they're doing – I mean, it's not like they weren't good about that last year, Gabe. I mean, they were in the top 10 in both scoring defense and yardage defense. So it's not like they weren't good, but this is a next level.
It's game day. Are you heading up to Green Bay? Make a quick stop at Higher Love Cannabis Company, just over the border in Menominee, Michigan, less than an hour from Green Bay. Award-winning, locally owned, organically grown, the best in the Midwest. Visit findhigherlove.com/CBD. That's findhigherlove.com/CBD for more information. We've got 2 segments left with Jason.
Oh, I know what's next.
The last one is the injury report at 5:45 when we get those reported. What's next, Jason?
Maybe or possibly.
Yes or no?
Jason Wilde.
With Jason Wilde. Coming up next, it's Green Bay Game Day presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
More Green Bay Game Day coming up on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
For your next night out, revel in the fusion of artistry and flavor with Sushi at St. Kate, offering guests an elevated experience where freshness and creativity converge in every bite. St. Kate the Arts Hotel introduces an exciting new sushi menu to its culinary repertoire. Indulge in the finest seafood, freshest ingredients, and expert craftsmanship for an inspired and delectable dining journey. Experience the art of sushi at St. Kate and learn more at stkatearts.com.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the mountains or go pick up your dry cleaning? RV wins! Are we cleaning the gutters or taking the RV camping? RV wins! Are we getting a new passport or cruising up the coast? RV wins!
Don't forget, you got that trip to Sweden coming up.
Oh, yeah, passport, then RV.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states and situations.
Why is Macy's one-day sale the one sale you can't miss? For starters, you'll find our best prices of the month on fall's top trends, like $99.99 for trenches and barn jackets, Diamond bracelets, $249. And for cozy nights in, comfy sheets at $19.99 and under. Plus, it's Star Money bonus days when Star Rewards members can earn Star Money faster. Not a member yet? Join for free online or in-store. Don't miss Macy's one-day sale tomorrow. Savings off already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Chris Canty.
This is a guy that has 13 penalties called on him, and he's got 6 unsportsmanlike flags. So how do you deter Jalen Carter from doing things of this nature on the football field that not only embarrass his team, but embarrass the entire league? I don't know that this is going to serve as a deterrent. This is a slap on the wrist. He did something that was egregious. The Eagles had a clause in the contract that they could hit him in his wallet, and they chose not to. What they told him is that you're so important that we're not going to do anything that you might construe as being too punitive. We want to make sure that you're viewing us as an ally and not an adversary, and I don't know that that is the way that you go about changing the behavior of a young guy that is supremely talented like Jalen Carter.
From kickoff to cash out, ESPN Bet has the tools you need to score more on game days. Bet smarter with stats at your fingertips. Get personalized parlays built just for you. And with your fantasy team synced right in the app, you can back your squad. Right now, new customers get $100 in bonus bets when you bet $10. Sign up with promo code USL to get started. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Whoa! Jason Kelsey just found out that NFL Sunday Ticket now lets you subscribe month to month.
Yeah!
He just realized you can join and cancel anytime.
Ha-ha! Now that's what I'm talking about.
Now he just found $1 in the sofa.
Yeah!
And he just saw a great parking spot open up. Look, just because Jason's easily excited doesn't make NFL Sunday Ticket month to month any less great. Right, Jason?
Yeah.
Get NFL Sunday Ticket month to month and cancel anytime. Woo! Sign up at NFLSundayTicket.com. Renews every month during the 2025 regular season. Cancel anytime. Terms and embargoes apply. No refunds. Commercial use excluded.
2 perennial women's college volleyball powers meet Wednesday, September 17th at Pfizer Forum. Be there as Marquette and Wisconsin take the court. The last time they played in 2023, over 17,000 fans attended the match. Make plans now to see these in-state rivals on Wednesday, September 17th, starting at 8 p.m. Limited tickets remain. Don't wait. Go to Ticketmaster.com/Marquette and secure your seats for college volleyball action at Pfizer Forum.
Welcome back to Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Green Bay Game Day, presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, live from the Tundra Trio just outside Lambeau Field. Alex Strouf, Gabe Neitzel, the 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde, hanging out with you ahead of Packers Commanders. It's Thursday night football at Lambeau Field between 2 undefeated teams. Is it too early to say undefeated?
Yeah.
When do I get to start saying that?
After the first month.
So you got to get through 4 games?
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's fair. All right, 2 1-0 teams in the Packers and the Commanders. Hey, download the Prize Pick app today and use code GKB. That's GKB, like Good Kick, Brandon, or Good Karma Brands, to get $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup play. That's code GKB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. It took you that long?
No, I wasn't sure how close you were to the end, and I didn't want to interrupt you. But
good kick, Brandon.
Gabe's face was. Yeah, there were other people that used the name Brandon in a different manner, so I was just not sure exactly where you were going.
That's true, but I said good kick, and I don't know if that's often the connotation.
Little,
All right, time now for yes or no with Jason Wilde.
No.
Will today be the day there are black and white answers from our most respected journalist?
No. Possibly. I think we shouldn't be greedy. Maybe. You would certainly hope so.
It's time for yes or no with Jason Wilde.
I think tonight's the night I get him.
I doubt it, but when it comes to that open, what happened when did you lose your train of thought when you wanted to say, I certainly hope, like the pause before between hope and so?
Yeah, it was just dramatic.
Okay.
I was just trying to be
He's a theater kid. I don't know if that's true, actually.
I went to a Lutheran high school on the south side of Milwaukee where the other dudes, I wish I was a theater kid. Like, I enjoyed playing sports. I would like to have done both because I really enjoy the theater.
I did both. I feel like I was better at one more than the other, though, and I'll let you be the judge of that.
I would never judge you at all. I'm here to lift you up, not push you down.
Oh, sure you are. Sure you are.
But there were some folks that thought that there was a certain connotation if you were a guy that was in theater, and I didn't really appreciate that, and I was too insecure to say, forget you guys, I want to do the theater and play baseball and golf and sit the bench at basketball.
Speaking of lifting me up, you know what would really lift me up?
No, I'm not doing that.
You just said no, though. That's a win.
Well,
That's a win.
I don't think so. That's not an answer.
All right, time now for Yes or No with Jason Wilde, where I ask simple yes or no questions. Jason usually doesn't give me an answer, and sometimes Gabe does. Yes or no?
Never has.
Yes or no, the Packers' offensive line is the unit to watch tonight for one reason or another.
I can see why you would say that, but I'm not sure if that's true. Like, it is among them. How about that? Do you feel like that's a win?
Yeah, I'll take that as a win.
You're like Chewy when he gets 15% on the poll. Yeah, I'll take it. I won.
Look,
I'm not that stubborn.
We're gonna get the inactives in what?
6 minutes.
6 minutes. Yep. I'm super curious. I don't expect either one of those guys to play tonight. I think there's a lot of trust in Jordan Morgan, J-Mo, as they like to call him.
Good nickname, by the way.
And I'm really curious if Darian Kennard has to start at right tackle, how he does. He played actually okay in relief in those 15 snaps. He didn't have the greatest Pro Football Focus grade on pass protection, but I don't think they passed that much once he went in either.
Correct.
So he didn't have a lot of reps. I'm very curious because here's a guy that, and I talked to him when he first got here, he comes from a team where he couldn't break into the starting lineup largely because they had 5 really good guys. So maybe he's a diamond in the rough who can help them out, but I'm skeptical.
How underappreciated is Morgan for doing what he did even last week? Because he was in the position battle for left tackle, but then he goes in at right tackle, holds his own, and then they kick him to left guard because of the different injuries. How underrated and underappreciated is that?
So Josh Sitton was here on Sunday at the trio, and it was fun because he had used his world famous wiping your butt with the opposite hand when you switch from one side of the line to the other. But he corrected Tausch and me and said, you guys always forget the second half of that. It might be messy, but you get the job done.
Oh.
Which I think
disgusting, and I love it.
I think it takes it to a whole nother level, actually.
It
and
really
I
does.
respect it.
And now you're not going to forget it.
No, I'll never leave off the second half now.
Truly disgusting, but I love it. Can you say it one more time in full?
So switching from right guard to left guard or right tackle to left tackle is like wiping your
behind
butt. He uses a different word in the actual. Demovsky and I were the ones who got that quote, by the way. It was money. Like, that was in like 2013 or something like that. He should have made T-shirts. He should have capitalized on it. Can you imagine how many offensive linemen throughout the league would be wearing? Butt wipe wear or whatever he was going to call it.
Yeah.
So it's like wiping your butt with your offhand. It's messy, but it gets the job done. And to your point about J-Mo, who, he did not come in on Tuesday when we were in there, because I really wanted to talk to him. For your exact point, you competed at left tackle, you rotated at right guard, and then you had to play left guard. And he did play left guard in the preseason finale, remember, because Banks didn't play in that game because of his back. But the fact that he was able to do that, I don't think we appreciate how hard it is.
Well, I just feel like it's one of those things that becomes so underrated, underappreciated. I understand some fans are like, well, he's a first-round pick. How come he's not a starter? He was a first-round pick, and he could play 4 positions for you?
Right, not only
That's unbelievable.
But in fairness to him, he was a first-round pick who had played left tackle his entire football life. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like he was Elton Jenkins or Zach Tom in college, where those guys played a variety of positions. J-Mo was a left tackle all through high school and all through college. And he still did, which is why I was hoping he would come in. But maybe he came in while we were out in the hallway, because we're doing this thing now where we interview Micah Parsons and Jordan Love in the hallway. which makes it a little bit harder to monitor the rest of the interview.
Interesting. All right, let's fly through the rest of these. Gabe, your answer, yes or no? Offensive line, the unit to watch for the Packers.
Sure. I felt like we had a pretty good conversation. We could have moved on to the next question.
But you never answered.
There was a reason.
Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? The Packers will have a pass catcher with more than 3 catches tonight.
It would be interesting if that happened.
Oh my goodness. Go.
I will say yes, that happens.
That's a win for me. Final one. Yes or no? We are close to calling Edgerrin Cooper a superstar.
I don't know about that. A
little premature?
That feels to me to be premature.
Which feels to me like you're saying no.
No, I'm open to the possibility that he should be called a superstar soon.
I put him on the All-Pro team and the Boldapalooza. So you know how I feel about it.
And I agree with you after a 12-tackle game last week, leading everybody in that win over the Lions in Week 1 here at Lambeau Field. It's Week 2, Thursday Night Football. Packers Commanders. It's a 7:15 kickoff just right there at Lambeau Field. Alex Strouf, Jason Wilde, Gabe Neitzel with you. Coming up next, we will take a look at the injury report, which is presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. That's next. Who's in, who's out on Green Bay Game Day.
Stay right here. Green Bay Game Day will be right back on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Hey, it's your friend John McGivern. In a world full of chaos, I'm grateful for a health plan that has my back. Network Health is so reliable and trustworthy, they always put me and over 126,000 members first. It's just what they do and what they've always done for over 41 years. Call 833-7-NETWORK today. HMO and POS plans underwritten by Network Health Plan. Compensation has been provided for using this endorsement of Network Health.
Oh no, there's only seltzer left, and it's passionberry almond fruit? Who comes up with these? Kick the aluminum can to the curb and mix up a cocktail you actually want with Tito's. It tastes great, it's gluten-free, and it's available in a variety of sizes for your convenience. The flavor abilities are endless. Tito's Handmade Vodka, the official spirit of whatever you want to drink. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
I'm very familiar with Gruber Law offices because they're always out in the community.
Gruber Law offices are known to be honest, hardworking.
They're always involved in our neighborhoods.
Gruber Law offices make our community a better place.
They are the best. For nearly 40 years, Gruber Law offices has helped people throughout Wisconsin. If you're injured, we're here to help. One call, that's all.
Wisconsin would not be the same without Gruber Law offices.
This summer, your wishes take center stage at WishFest at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Play your favorite games with your Potawatomi Rewards card all summer for over $1 million in prizes and earn entries into the WishFest prize drawings on Friday, September 26th. Your entries from July, August, and September all count. Plus, 5 lucky winners will have their ultimate wish granted. Wish big, win big. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Hey, it's Jen Latta, and I just had my walk-in closet redesigned by Closets by Design. Doug and his team in Mequon were amazing, from the first consultation to the final install, and now I have a beautiful, organized space for all of my clothes. They really brought my vision to life. Locally owned with the backing of a trusted national brand, they deliver expert design with a personal touch. Get 40% off plus an extra 15% off, and take advantage of 18-month free financing. Visit closetsbydesign.com or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN, and don't forget to tell them Jen from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy sent you.
UW Credit Union presents the Student Athlete of the Week, supporting local student athletes as they grow on the field, in the classroom, and in the community. UW Credit Union is here for every you. Learn more at uwcu.org.
With your UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week, I'm Will Summers. In her first high school meet, Port Washington freshman Amanda Lotz shattered the school's 100-yard backstroke record by an impressive 5 seconds. Lotz continued her standout performance by slicing 13 seconds off the Kohler Pool record in the 500 freestyle. She also topped her own school record in the 100 backstroke, setting a new pool record by 6 seconds. Her dominant swims played a crucial role in leading the Pirates to a narrow 91-89 victory over the Blue Bombers. Congratulations to Port Washington's Amanda Lotz, your UW Credit Union Student Athlete of the Week.
In football, what does every great team start with?
A strong defense. Same's true in business.
Defense against what?
Cyber threats. That's why companies use Trend Micro.
What do they actually protect?
Your network, your data, your people, from ransomware, phishing, and more.
So it's not just antivirus?
Not at all. Trend Micro has a full defensive playbook trusted worldwide for over 35 years.
Sounds like the kind of defense every business needs.
Exactly. Don't get blindsided. Go to trendmicro.com and see how enterprise security is done right.
You're listening to Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Green Bay Game Day is presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Visit orthowisconsin.com today for info. And that is also who brings you today's injury report. So a couple of non-surprises, but a surprising active, which we will get to in a moment. Both of the offensive linemen who were hurt in Week 1 are out. Zach Tom and Aaron Banks both will not go tonight for the Green Bay Packers.
A
couple others that you did know. Bo Melton won't play tonight, the cornerback, former wide receiver. Zane Anderson won't play tonight. No Warren Brinson, the defensive lineman, and no tight end Ben Sims. But the big ones are Zach Tom and Aaron Banks, who are missing 2 of your 5 starters on the offensive line. The active, though, which I think is more surprising to me, is cornerback Nate Hobbs will make his Packers debut tonight. After not playing in Week 1, had a procedure done on his knee in the offseason, really hasn't practiced at all. And here comes Nate Hobbs for the Packers, Jason.
So July 31st was when he injured his knee. He suffered a tear in his meniscus. They went in and trimmed out the tear, which is a lot shorter recovery time than repairing it, which usually doesn't work anyway. And if it sounds like I have some knowledge of that, it's not from my own knee, from Maddie's. That she ran a whole cross-country season like that. God bless her. But you can't rush that, or you're really asking for trouble. And so the fact that he did not play on Sunday and is playing tonight, I have to be honest, is a little bit surprising to me.
Agreed.
I thought that they would be a little less. And look, Doc McKenzie's not really the and I don't want to cast aspersions here. Maybe he's just purely ready. And so this is not me second-guessing the medical staff. I was a little surprised. I thought they would wait until Week 3. They feel good about your guy, Carrington Valentine. Yeah. They feel really good, obviously, about Keyshawn Nixon on the outside. And they like Javon Bullard, who played better than I think you and I expected him in the slot against Amon-Ra St. Brown on Sunday. So I'm curious to see what approach they take.
So, I mean, where is he going to be? Is he going to be on the outside? I know he's played some inside, but as well as Bullard played, I know Deebo Samuel, I don't think he's got much left in the tank. Usually he's going to be the slot receiver now for the Washington Commanders.
We found somebody you'd rather have you'd rather have Jayden Reed in the slot than this guy.
Yes.
And this would be Deebo. Look, in training camp, now again, I don't know what they have planned, but in training camp, Carrington Valentine was the odd man out.
Mm-hmm.
It was when they went nickel, it was Hobbs and Keyshawn Nixon on the outside.
Well, I mean, they paid good money for
on
Hobbs.
the inside.
They paid good money for Hobbs.
He needs
That's
to be on
not
the
shocking.
field. That's an investment, right? You're totally right about
that.
Now,
there were also instances where it was they would move Hobbs inside and they would bring Carrington Valentine off the sideline, which is an option too. The question that I would have again is, after missing the time that he's had, are you really going to play him at 2 spots? Because the slot is different than outside corner, and if you're going to play him in both those spots, what does that look like?
the question I have is, how much does he play? There's got to be a snap count.
Yeah,
you would anticipate.
You would certainly.
He hasn't practiced.
You would certainly think so. But again, But
he hasn't practiced.
Right. Well, he was limited in practice Thursday and Friday of last. Thursday and Friday of last week.
A full participant?
But limited. And again, another one of my complaints about the lack of accurate information is that we get booted before team. You can be listed as limited, just like you can be questionable, both as Micah Parsons, who we're talking about how many snaps will he play. Oh, he's questionable, but there's no real question. Or the 2 offensive linemen who are both out tonight, who are also listed as questionable.
Mm-hmm.
So in Nate Hobbs' case, I don't know how many 11-on-11 snaps he got on Thursday and Friday of last week, but obviously he didn't get any this week because they didn't do any because they just played on Sunday.
Yeah. Fascinating. Good to have him active, obviously.
So the fact that he's active, does that make you think, knowing what you do about this team, how long you've been around covering this team in the NFL, that he actually did get some 11-on-11 last week?
I would think so, right? I mean, how do you throw a guy out there with he's
no
experienced,
practice?
but like no 11-on-11 work at all? Now, I would also add this. Look, these guys have a pretty potent offense. They've got some pretty darn good pass catchers. And obviously Terry McLaurin is a fantastic player.
Scary Terry.
You would like to have all hands on deck and everyone is an option. So I guess I'm not surprised if they deemed him healthy enough. I won't be surprised if he plays a lot.
I guess we will see. But good to have Nate Hobbs making his Packers debut tonight after they go out and get him in free agency. They let Jair Alexander walk, who, by the way, played in Week 1 for the Baltimore Ravens. Not super well.
Kind of a tough ending.
Not super well there down the stretch, but he did play. Nate Hobbs did in Week 1. Nate Hobbs back for the Packers now, making his debut tonight for Green Bay.
Go ahead.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. Distilled 6 times till it's just right. Tito's is known for great vodka, giving back, and doing good for dogs. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
So as long as we're talking about the defense, Micah Parsons, what kind of plan do you think they're going to have for him? Because it seemed like the Lions, at times, not that they didn't give Penei Sewell help, but at times last week it felt like they were like, oh, we've got the best right tackle in football.
Right.
We're just going to put him on an island. He's going to be fine against Micah Parsons. Spoiler alert, he was not fine against Micah Parsons. So what kind of plan do you think the Commanders are going to put together to try to neutralize what he brings to the table?
Yeah, they got a young guy at
right tackle. It's a rookie.
And so the idea of saying, yeah, he's got this is probably off the table for them. So that's another one. You know, Strouf asked me at the beginning of the show, and then, as has been known to be the case, we got sidetracked on something else. We never really got back to it. But that's one of the things that I'm super curious to see how they do it tonight is how do the Commanders approach neutralizing him? Because obviously they tried last year too when he was playing for the Cowboys. Didn't do such a great job of it with 4.5 sacks in 2 games. So I'm very curious to see how much help they give. And this is where it goes back to what we were talking about the Parsons effect. Because now I don't know if Rashawn Gary was double teamed as often as maybe people would like for us to believe when we look at his production. But he's going to have one-on-one opportunities tonight for sure. What is he going to do with those, and how productive will he be?
Jason Wilde with us for a few more minutes ahead of Packers-Commanders Thursday Night Football. Both teams 1-0. I will not say undefeated because Gabe Neitzel told me not to. Both 1-0 heading into this Week 2 matchup, kicking things off in Week 2. Jason, any final thoughts? What are you looking
teams
for
in this matchup?
Yeah, indeed. Wordsmith.
Among the
American Order, Alex Strouf.
You say as many words as the three of us say during the course of a week, you're going to have a couple of missteps.
Couple of false starts here and there.
Yeah, sure. So we're not going to hold that against you. I would say this. Well, I'm lifting you up.
Gabe might.
I would say this. I'm really curious to see how the Packers run the ball, too. We didn't spend any time talking about that during our hour together. The Lions were basically said, look, we're not going to let Josh Jacobs kick us in the teeth in the first half. And they did a great job against them, but they also gave up 4 pretty big third down conversions through the pass game. So I'm curious to see how they run the football. We talked about Jordan Love a little bit. I really do. I think this is going to be a game where he's going to have to make some big-time plays for them to win. Again, this isn't quite like college football where you don't really know what the team is coming in this early in the year.
Well, but to that, I don't know what the Commanders' defense is.
I don't either.
Because the Giants are just a mess of a franchise. Their offensive line's not very good, and they got a lot of pressure on Russell Wilson. How much of that was the Commanders? How much of it is the Giants thinking? Their leading rusher, their top sack guy, not there this year from last year, and Dante Fowler.
Yep.
So it's
Packers were interested in him. By
yeah. And so it's hard to figure out. I think we know it's easy to look at the offense and go, oh, Terry McLaurin's been in this league for a very long time. Know how good he is. Jayden Daniels, yeah, he was pretty good last year. I think we have a pretty good feel for what Jayden Daniels is. But on the defensive side, it's harder for me to figure out.
Right. I would agree. And And that's one of the challenges and one of the reasons why we don't spend a lot of time talking about how teams are undefeated after one game is that there are not lasting certainties that you can take from that first game. And there's a lot of, they'll still see unscouted looks tonight. Both of them will, right? There's stuff that both teams were working on during training camp, whether they wanted to tell anybody or not, that they have for this game. And we're going to see that. So we'll see how they react to that and trust their rules and all that stuff coaches say. But the bottom line is that there are some pretty big unknowns still for both teams. And both teams had good, impressive wins, I would say, against different calibers of opponents. But there's a lot to be still found out tonight.
A lot to be found out about both teams.
Correct.
Can't take all your takeaways away here from week one as we enter week number 2. I want to, before we let you go, Jason, obviously 24 years ago today, the 9/11 attacks in New York, and the Packers and Commanders, oddly enough, played that first game back against one another following the attacks in New York. Great moment. Chris Gizzi runs out with the American flag. He attended Air Force for his collegiate career. What do you remember from that day?
So a couple things. I mean, and first of all, one thing we have learned now in our current environment that we don't even bother to talk politics. Okay, so I don't want to be clear that that's not what I'm doing here, but there have been in recent weeks and months, and probably way longer than there should be, some shortcomings in how well taken care of the first responders who have subsequent illnesses because of them being on the pile and doing all the things in the aftermath of that tragic day that caused illnesses. And so, Paula and I actually talked about, do I wear this sweatshirt, do I not? And so I have a friend whose uncle was a firefighter who got very sick afterward, and Nike did a great thing where they did some fundraising work with these sweatshirts, and I had them give me one of. There's a black one too. I've got two because you know me, I love a good sweatshirt. I'm a hoodie guy.
You're a hoodie guy, and again, a couple good colorways.
Exactly.
Sign Jason up.
And I got to find the shoes that match.
I was about to say that the shoes really pull everything together today.
So I just hope that people are, and you can go to nyc.gov. You can find out more information about first responders who are still struggling with their health care and everything else. So that's why I wore this. But in terms of that memory, it's funny because, not funny haha, but funny because I had to switch into journalist mode fairly quickly. Not because I was covering the tragedy itself, but the Packers were scheduled to play in New York the following Sunday. And so I'm on the phone with Bob Harlan saying, hey, what is the league telling you? And Bob was obviously great. We were able to talk to him all the time. And he's like, look, I don't think we're going to play. So be prepared for that. We don't know for certain. They're still talking about it. And if you remember, too, they had not played a weekend since Kennedy was assassinated. So it was there was a big back and forth about it, but you had a New York team scheduled to play at home. There were people that thought, well, maybe in terms of football being healing and a distraction, maybe we need to do this. So it was a long day of not only monitoring the horror that was going on that day, but also that the Packers were involved in that. And so they ultimately decided to postpone. They take week 2 and put it in week essentially 17 or 18, and they have one fewer week between the end of the playoffs and the Super Bowl, right? But I'll never forget this, and I mean I get emotional thinking about it because look, we all saw what we saw. We all know the loss, but until you go to ground zero and you see all the flyers that were still there in January when we went there to cover the Packers-Giants game, and you know that these are real people that had real lives, but there's something about seeing that is just a incredible gut punch. That there was such desperation that day of hoping that, and I say this, I love you guys. I love working with you. I got a lot of really great people that are around me, and the idea of losing any of them. Now, I've lost a few already in my life, and the idea of losing them that way and not knowing if you've lost them for the entire day, I can't imagine how painful that was for the survivors and the family members. So, I think Chris Gizzi was a healing moment. I talked to him on the 20th anniversary, and he was great. I know Jacob Westendorf for SI.com talked to him yesterday for a story for them today. I recommend reading that as well. But one of the things that I do appreciate about what we get to do, we experienced it during COVID to some degree too, we get to bring people together. right? And we get to make them forget about, for at least 3 hours or however long your show is or however long the game is, the really crappy things that happen in the world. And so I just relish the opportunity that we get to do this together. And, September 11th, I have a few people whose birthdays are September 11th that are friends of mine. That's also very hard, right? So just to think about how you're supposed to be celebrating your birthday, no one ever wants to celebrate your birthday anymore. So I appreciate the chance to say that. But what's great about sports is that we set all that stuff aside for 3 hours, and we focus on whether Micah Parsons can get Jayden Daniels to the ground or not.
Well said. Very well said by Jason Wilde, who departs us now. Jason will be listening to you after the game on Green Bay Game Night. Thanks for the time, as always.
I look forward to it.
Gabe and I roll on with you in hour 3 of the program. It's Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
We're back with Green Bay Game Day after this on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Is back pain slowing you down? The OAW Spine Center offers specialized care with advanced treatments for herniated discs, spinal fusion, and more. Their board-certified orthopedic care specialists use the least invasive methods, starting with non-surgical options. If surgery is needed, they provide minimally invasive procedures. The OAW Spine Specialists focus on getting you back to an active lifestyle faster. The OAW Spine Center. There is a difference. Visit OAWSpineCenter.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Even your pickiest eater will say yes to this. Crispy chicken tenders are now at Cousin Subs. Perfect on their own with a favorite dipping sauce, or stacked in one of our 2 new subs. Classic crispy chicken or bold Buffalo Ranch crispy chicken. Made with quality chicken and served on our fresh baked bread. It's a mealtime win for kids and grown-ups. But hurry, these crispy favorites are only here for a limited time. Order in store, online, or on the app today. Cousin Subs. We believe in better.
Is your roof underperforming? Saggy shingles, leaky spots? Sounds like someone needs a little Evandale roofing. They don't just patch things up, they go all the way. Tight, sealed, satisfied. It's the kind of roof that'll have your neighbors going,
Now that's a roof.
Evandale Roofing. They get on top so you don't have to. Call now. Your house deserves it.
Whoa! What are these? Screamin' Sicilian loaded breadsticks. Available in 2 great flavors. Cheesy garlic or pepperoni. Both delicious. Screamin' Sicilian doesn't play around. They're fully loaded breadsticks that come in their own bakeable tray. Dang! Woo! These are next level. Are they the main course? Nah, just the appetizer. Find Screamin' Sicilian loaded breadsticks in your local grocer's freezer section. Screamin' Sicilian loaded breadsticks. Bring the party. Bring the flavor.
From the biggest stars to the greatest moments. Behind the Bucks is Bucks history like you've never heard it before. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
In the Midwest, we know the real deal on the field and in your wellness routine. Higher Love Cannabis Company in Menominee, Michigan offers top-tier Michigan-grown CBD products, no shortcuts, no synthetic knockoffs, just clean, green certified, organically grown CBD crafted for fans who expect the best. Whether you're gearing up for the game or winding down after a win, swing through Higher Love just across the Wisconsin border and experience the highest quality CBD in the Midwest. Higher Love, the real deal, no limitation. Visit findhigherlove.com/CBD.
WTMJ's Brandon Stein for Wisconsin Harley-Davidson. It may be September, but that doesn't mean the fun is stopping at Wisconsin Harley-Davidson. Join Ride for Recovery for their 3rd annual Bethany Ride on Saturday, September 13th. A day of over 100 miles of riding, live music from Miles Waggerin, food raffles, booths, and bike competitions, all to benefit women seeking treatment for substance use disorder. For more details, check out their website or like and follow them on Facebook, on Instagram, and online at WISHD.com. Wisconsin Harley-Davidson, your destination dealer.
Gabe Neitzel here. Catch Jen, Gabe, and Chewy mornings 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. It's time to get this tailgate started and get you ready for the green and gold game.
Love steps up on the run. Wide open, Jayden Reed. Make a man miss. Reed, goodbye. Touchdown, Packers.
This is Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Broadcasting live from the shadow of the south end zone at Lambeau Field. Alongside Gabe Neitzel, here is Alex Strouf.
Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, live from the Tundra Trio, just outside the south end zone at Lambeau Field. Alex Strouf, Gabe Neitzel with you for another hour or so as we lead you to kickoff. Packers, Commanders, both 1-0 here tonight, Thursday Night Football at Lambeau Field.
All right, so tell me how excited you are. Last week,
I'm fired up.
On the show, obviously, Scaffidi has the season tickets. He's always going in. Although he is going to be missing a game, the next game here at Lambeau Field against the Cincinnati Bengals, he is going to be overseas. But between you and me, you go into more games than I do. You didn't go in last week.
I did not.
What's your excitement level to go in tonight and compared to last year or the year before?
Yeah, look, I'm pretty fired up because I think this team's on another level than teams in years prior, right? I mean, we saw it on display last week what this defense is capable of. And even though I had the utmost confidence in the defensive coordinator that Jeff Hafley was in year one, we're cooking on a different planet at this point with the addition of Micah Parsons. Now, offensively, I've always been a huge believer in Matt LaFleur. You know this probably better than anybody, Gabe. I think he is so underappreciated from a national perspective. I think with the addition of Matthew Golden, with the healthy dual tight ends in Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgrave, and the addition, of course, of Matthew Golden, I just think there's so much creativity to be had with this offense. All of that to say, I'm very excited for this matchup because I feel like it's a preview of the NFC Championship game, or very well could be.
And I do think, I think the Packers have excellent coaches, but when you get another player like Micah Parsons, we saw what Jeff Hafley did last year, and the way he was able to simulate pressure even though they were only rushing 4, because he'd get 6 guys up to the line, and 4 of them were going, 2 of them were dropping. And offensive lines trying to figure that out, and he was able to kind of stack up some of the sack numbers against teams like the Titans, and they have 7 sacks one game, 6 sacks in another game, but that pass rush just wasn't consistent enough. And you give a coach like that a difference-making player like Micah Parsons, and it just opens up even more things. Like, Jeff Hafley's a tremendous coach, and I mean, coaches say this all the time. Like, suddenly I'm a better coach because I got a really good player.
Yeah, I got that guy.
Again, Mike Holmgren, really good coach. Probably wouldn't have been as good of a coach without Reggie White and Brett Favre.
No, probably not.
Right?
Probably.
And that's not to take away from his ability as a coach. It's just
his Hall of Fame career, right?
When you have what should be a Hall of Fame career.
He's not in.
No, he didn't
He's
get
still
in.
not in. I thought he got in.
No, he was the finalist, and he didn't get in.
Yeah.
And who knows how that's going to unfortunately play out for him, because I thought he was a shoo-in. So did Jason.
He'll get in eventually.
I hope you're right. But it just opens up so many more things that you can do as a head coach when you have a difference-making player like that. And honestly, that's what I'm excited for. I don't think we're going to see a lot of those big-time difference-making things from Jeff Hafley tonight because it is still so young in the Micah Parsons era for the Packers. But by the time we see this team at Lambeau Field against the Cincinnati Bengals, I kind of fully expect the fully unleashed version of Parsons and what it can look like in the Jeff Hafley defense.
Totally with you on that. This is going to be a really fun one. And we've talked about it 100 times at this point today. But it's such a big part of what this game is tonight for me. We saw how dominant they were in Week 1. And I don't think that's a fluke. I think that this defense can be that good. But now you look at their Week 2 quarterback matchup, and it is very, very different than Week 1, right? Week 1 is a good quarterback in Jared Goff, but he's not a mobile quarterback. He's not a guy that improvises. He's not a guy that moves around a lot. I think it was Rob Demovsky who dropped the stat. He was traveling at like 8 miles per hour less than Micah Parsons when he got sacked by him. Crazy stat. Jayden Daniels can move, and he can extend plays, and he can improvise, and he's going to use his legs to, and we talked about this a bit earlier, on the 3rd and 4 or the 3rd and 5, get the first down. That's the part where I go, okay, how good is this defense? Can they slow down a guy like a Jayden Daniels or a guy like Lamar Jackson they'll see later in the season?
But that's where the Micah Parsons effect becomes real. Because as I was just telling, as we were just describing, a lot of times last year, is I don't know if it was, I'm trying to think of the defensive coordinator who liked to sugar the A-gap, right, and have those two linebackers walk up. And the Packers had a lot of those looks last year. And then you're dropping and you're trying to make them guess. When you have Micah Parsons and the effect that creates on 3rd down, as we saw with Lucas Van Ness have an effect like he did. We know how good Carl Brooks can be, or even Colby Wooden last week, and Rashawn Gary. If you can get pressure with just 4, that just opens you up with as much zone as the Packers are going to play to be able to keep an eye on Jayden Daniels, right?
Yeah,
it's not like, okay, in order to kind of simulate pressure, we've got to get 6 guys up here. Now 2 have to bail, and as they're bailing, they've got to kind of keep an eye on Daniels because who knows what he's going to do. It's just, it opens up so many different things when you can get pressure with 4. It's why it's such a big thing, and you take a look at those teams that have had success and pulled off upsets in playoff history in the NFL. Typically, it's because they were able to get pressure with 4 against legendary quarterbacks.
Gabe, Neitzel, Alex Strouf with you. Green Bay Game Day presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. We've got to get to best bets. We've got to get to one call. We've got to get to I Need a Hero. We will do all that before 7 o'clock. Coming up next is Brian Bulaga, the Super Bowl champion and former Packers first-round pick.
What?
Brian Bulaga is joining us coming up next to preview this one. I mean, there's a couple offensive linemen out of this game. We need some expertise on this.
No, I want to hear him talk more about Micah Parsons.
But before Brian, it's trivia time. Trivia brought to you by Lakeland University, Wisconsin's leader in flexible, personalized education. Whether you're just starting college, finishing your degree, or balancing work and family, Lakeland lets you earn your degree your way. Lakeland University. Experience it your way. You've probably heard the stat a few times today, but I don't know if you're going to remember it. And we will reveal the answer before Brian joins us next segment. The last time Washington won in Green Bay. The last time Washington won in Green Bay.
I actually have not heard this.
Okay, we will get Gabe Neitzel's answer. We will get Brian Bulaga's answer. We'll reveal the answer. Coming up next is Brian Bulaga joins us. It's Green Bay Game Day on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
More Green Bay Game Day coming up on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
This football season is all about making the right calls, and with Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Hey, it's ESPN Wisconsin's Alex Strouf. Prize Picks makes daily fantasy simple. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections, like Jordan Love, Josh Jacobs, etc. And if you're right, you can cash in. I love how quick and easy it is. You can make your lineup in under a minute. I've done it. Like right now. I can do it right now. And enjoy fast, secure withdrawals with Venmo, Apple Pay, and more. Plus, with injury reboots and the Flex Play option, your lineup has even more ways to win. Download the app today. That's Prize Picks in your app store. And use the code GKB. That's code GKB and get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. $50 for 5. Great deal. Again, that's Prize Picks. Pick more or less on 2 to 6 player projections and you can get paid with code GKB at signup. I'll say it once, I'll say it a million times. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Yeah, it is.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right. And naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about anything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys. Tito's is known for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
Summertime is the time for all the big events. Weddings, milestone birthdays, even corporate events. Elevate every event with Noble Catering, a premier craft caterer in southeastern Wisconsin, preferred by over 30 venues. Noble Catering is also the exclusive caterer of Villa Terrace, an east side event treasure. And coming in 2026, Noble's new headquarters, a 400-person event venue in the heart of Bayview called Brixton's Turn. Book them for your event at noblecateringco.com.
It's ESPN Milwaukee's Brad Nortman here with some exciting news from my friends at Bank 5-9. Not only have they been named a top workplace for 16 straight years, but they've just won the prestigious Community Choice Award as the best bank in the Milwaukee area. Honestly, I'm not surprised. Not only do they have great products and services, but they truly live out their mission to make lives better. If you're looking for a true local community bank, check out the best. Visit bank59.com to learn more today. Member FDIC.
Hey, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. Build a customized renter's policy with American Family Insurance so you can protect your tandem bike on the go. Thief! Oh, he is struggling with that two-seater. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Some exclusions may apply. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
At Tony Wendorf & Associates First Weber Group, we do more than close deals. We serve with gratitude and faith-filled purpose. We've sold over $300 million in real estate since 2020, one of the top-ranked real estate teams in Wisconsin, and we're just getting started. What sets us apart? We care. Even if we're not your agent, we'll still help. That's the kind of stewardship the community deserves. If you're buying or selling across southeastern Wisconsin, let us earn your trust. I'm Tony Wendorf, and I want to create your red carpet experience. Contact us at wendorfteam.firstweber.com.
Hey, it's Alex Strouf. When it's game day, every detail matters, from the perfect seat on the couch to the perfect spread on the table. For over 125 years, Coops has been bringing incredible flavor to the table with 14 bold mustard flavors that turn good food great and great food amazing. Whether it's brats, burgers, or pretzels at halftime, Coops isn't your ordinary mustard. It's extraordinary mustard. So this football season, bring the bold, bring the flavor, bring Coops. Coops Mustard, spreading the love since 1897.
Welcome back to Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
I've got some famous friends you probably never heard of, but back in Rutherford County, our crowd is sick and
Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, rolls on live from the Tundra Trio just outside of Lambeau Field. Alex Strouf, Gabe Neitzel with you. So I asked the trivia question. The last time Washington won in Green Bay.
Yep.
Your answer.
So I can only think of one time that Washington that I could think that Washington won here in Green Bay, and that would have been Brian Bulaga's rookie season, that 2010 season. Packers lost back-to-back overtime games. I can't remember if it was that game that Rodgers got knocked out of, or if it was the overtime loss against the Dolphins that he got knocked out of.
I hate to break it to you, that's not right.
Really?
It's not even close to right.
Really?
The last time they won in Green Bay was 1986. The last time they won in Wisconsin was 1988, but that game was played at County Stadium. 1986, the last time Washington won in Green Bay.
Oh, you know what? 2010 was in Washington. The Dolphins game was here. Both of them weren't in Green Bay.
Had him flipped. All good. Joining us now is the aforementioned Super Bowl champion, former first-round pick of the Green Bay Packers, Brian Bulaga, joins us now on Green Bay Game Day. And before we start anywhere, Brian, are you available to play right tackle tonight?
No, I don't think you want me playing right tackle tonight. I'm not.
That's not
true. I'm not in fighting shape. Let's put it that way.
Not playing shape, fighting shape. Yeah, very good.
Yeah,
well, that's what it is.
Not ready to do that. Not ready.
I mean, but is that what it is on Thursday after you've played on a Sunday? It's not about being in game shape. It's about being in fighting shape.
That's essentially what it is. It's a fight on Thursday night. It's just fighting for your life out there. I mean, it's you know. I mean, early in the season, guys, I guess you could say, are fresher, right? I mean, they feel a little bit better, but it's still a bad turnaround, right? I mean, no one enjoys the turnaround. It's tough. Worse for Washington because they have to travel, so it's better for the Packers tonight for sure. But on both teams, it's tough turning around so quick and playing right away on a Thursday.
No Zach Tom, no Aaron Banks tonight. What's the challenge for Green Bay's offensive line going into week 2, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, you obviously, Zach Tom's a very, very good player, and so's Banks. They played really well against Detroit. Those are high-level performers. Those are guys you rely on, and now, obviously, Jordan Morgan goes in at left guard, and Kennard, a newer player, goes in at right tackle. And obviously, we saw a little bit of Kennard at right tackle. And he played well for the for the snaps that he got in. Obviously, that's a small sample size, and the time he went in the game, I mean, I think we can all look at that time when he went in, and the game was over, right? I mean, I think we can all agree at that point in time the game was wrapped up. So the quality that Detroit, or the effort that Detroit was getting at that point in time, I don't know if we could judge it as a lot of effort. But, hey, he played well when he went in. So I think the challenge is, are we going to see that same quality of play? And obviously for Kennard, he goes in there, and is the communication on a short week next to Sean Ryan going to be what we expect it to be if he was with Zach Tom? Like, right? I mean, it's a short week. He hasn't been there for that long. And, like, are they going to be on the same page? I don't worry that much about Jordan Morgan next to Walker, right? I mean, he's been there for a few years. He's played a lot of left guard during camp. So, like, I'm not that worried about that. We'll see how Kennard does. I mean, he's played a lot of ball during camp. He's been around a lot of good teams. Hasn't got a bunch of starting experience. Obviously, we know that. But he's been around a lot of good players. He's seen a lot of high-level play, and he played, well, like I said, in his few snaps that he got last week. So expect him to play well, right? But I guess we're just going to wait and see. And I think LaFleur is going to probably protect early on to see how he is and how he adjusts and how he's playing. And then I think as he sees how he's doing, and he'll adjust and kind of let it loose if he sees that he's performing well.
So as long as we're talking about line play, let's talk about the offensive line of the Washington Commanders. Because last week, clearly part of the plan for the Lions was, we've got Penei Sewell. He's the best right tackle in football. We can leave him on an island sometimes against Micah Parsons. Didn't really work out well for Detroit. So the Commanders do not have someone like Penei Sewell, so I doubt they're going to be at least intentionally leaving people on islands. What do you think they're going to try to do to neutralize Parsons?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to see a lot of double teams, a lot of tight end thumps, probably a lot of running backs releasing out to Parsons. I would imagine the center will be sliding to where Parsons is, so you'll see the center slide to where Parsons is. That means the guard can go help the tackle. So he'll be doubled quite a bit. Right? I mean, that's going to be kind of the theme of the season, if that makes sense. So you'll see a lot of single blocking for the other guys, right? Like there's going to be a lot of opportunities for the other guys in one-on-one situations, and it's going to be up to guys to, make the best out of that. Now, is Micah going to get opportunities to be one-on-one? Yeah, absolutely. He'll have opportunities. Are they going to be a lot of them? No, probably not. Probably not. He won't have a bunch, but he'll probably have 8 to 10 reps all games in pass blocking that he'll probably have one-on-one reps, and he'll probably win those, if I had to guess, unless the ball comes out really fast. Right? And this is a game that, like, a guy like him that is so talented, that is very aggressive in his rush, that can beat tackles inside really quick, he has to be careful because Jayden Daniels will wait for that inside move to go outside, right? Jayden Daniels will break contain if he sees Micah Parsons beat a tackle inside. So he has to be really disciplined with his rush this week if he is just smoking tackles inside, to be able to, readjust, get back outside, and track down Jayden Daniels, because Jayden Daniels is that type of quarterback that he can make D-lines pay if they're not disciplined with their rush, Penn.
You prepared for a lot of really good edge rushers your rookie season. Obviously, you guys won the Super Bowl your rookie season when you were thrusted into action. How do you prepare for a complete game wrecker like that? Because it's the right tackle of Washington who's a rookie. He's playing a second career game tonight, and he's got to deal with a guy like Micah Parsons. How do you even get in the mindset of preparing for a complete game wrecker like Micah Parsons is as a young player?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's not going to be it's not going to be fun for him, right? I mean, I think for him, the coaching staff, for one, they have to take care of him, right? Like that's the first and foremost. They can't put him in too many poor situations, right? We all watched the tape from last week, right? I mean, we saw what he did to one of the best right tackles in the league, right? And that's the tape. The tape doesn't lie. So, like, that kid is watching that tape as well. And he's seeing that too. And he's going, okay, well, if Parsons is doing that to him, what are they going to be able to neutralize him? Obviously, they're different players. But at the same time, the coaching staff has to look at that and go, all right, how can we protect him and not put him in these bad situations, right? And I think as a young player, you just have to go into it and go, all right, let's not get overzealous. Let's not do things out of character. And let's just play a smart game. Like, that's really what you have to do, play a smart game. Don't do anything out of character, and just take it play by play and try to play as fundamentally sound as you can. And just know in your head, he's probably going to get me once or twice, right? Like, don't get out of your game if he does beat you. Because, listen, it's going to happen. Great players win reps. That's inevitable. They are going to win. It's if you let that snowball, that's when it becomes every rep. And when it becomes every rep, that's when embarrassing nights happen.
What can the Packers do to get Josh Jacobs going a little bit sooner? Because the second half was fantastic. First half left a lot to be desired.
Yeah, no, you're right. The first half was, obviously it wasn't good, but I don't like to make excuses. That's not really my thing. But to watching the film, the Lions, to their credit and very good, game plan. They had 7 and sometimes 8 in the box in the first half. They were daring Green Bay to throw the ball. Green Bay threw the ball and they punished them, right? Like that was the theme of the first half. Obviously that's very clear to see. In the second half, they softened up, and Jacobs had a really good second half. And, that could be the theme of the season, too, for Green Bay's offense. And I think everyone would be okay with that. But even in the second half, Green Bay left, what I think is about 25 to 30 yards rushing on the field. I think there were some, from what I saw, a couple missed assignments, a couple, if I'm going to call them MAs, guys missed a couple double teams up to linebackers. A couple linebackers got through scot-free, which shouldn't be happening. So there's some things left out there that I think that they saw on tape that they could take advantage of. So I think you've got to get Jacobs going early. I think this is one of those games. It's Thursday night. Washington traveled. I think you can lean on Washington and make this into that type of game. Listen, and I know how good our defense is, right? I get that, but I really don't want to see Jayden Daniels running around out there. Like, that's not something I want to see. I want to see Jacobs on the field, pounding the rock. I want to see 4. I want to see 5, and then a first down, and just like that type of game. So the faster they can get him going, I think the better for the Packers. And that's just, cleaning up some things in the run game that they saw on tape last week. And I think that's easily done. Obviously, the new guys that are coming in, they just got to adjust to that and see what the mistakes were made last week.
Last thing for Super Bowl champion Brian Bulaga. Are the Packers taking care of business tonight in your eyes?
Yeah. I think they get this done. I think it'll be tight early, right? It's Thursday night. You never know. Thursday night's always
could be a gritty game, right? For sure.
Yeah, I think first Thursday of the game or first Thursday of the season, you never know how it's going to go. But I think Green Bay at the end is comfortable. I'm going to go 28-14 Green Bay.
Love it. Brian Bulaga, Super Bowl champion. Hear him on the Homer Hour. Thanks, Brian.
All right, guys. Take care.
We got a bunch of stuff to get through on the other side. We've got to look at our best bet. We've got to make our one call. And we need to name who our hero will be. Lots to get through. Predictions coming your way.
Got to make up for a best bet last week.
Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
Stay right here. Green Bay Game Day will be right back on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Pull up to Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee and shoot your shot at big wins for Sweet Ticket September. Play with your rewards card for entries. Score triple on Drawing Thursday. Win slam dunk prizes like cash, reward play, and tickets to see the Milwaukee Bucks in action. Sweet Ticket September. You ready for this? Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Hey sports fans, looking to level up your next private event? V Private Bar Services is your game changer. Move beyond the ordinary. V Private Bar Services crafts custom cocktails tailored to your brand and your guests' tastes. Imagine a bar experience that's as unique as your business. Our expert mixologists will create a memorable experience that your clients and team will rave about. From signature cocktails to full-service bars, we've got you covered. Be the MVP of your next event. Visit theprivatebar.com to book today.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats.
Now through Wednesday, save on 48-ounce selected varieties Stone Ridge ice cream, 2 for $7. 7-ounce selected varieties Banquet pot pies, 5 for $5. 4 to 6-count selected varieties Dannon multi-pack yogurt, 2 for $6. 6 to 12-count selected varieties Ice Mountain spring water, 2 for $5.
I am starving.
Oh no, never walk into a Century when you're hungry.
Unless it's free sample day. Ooh, pizza, yes, I'd love to try that one.
My husband thinks he can make a meal out of grocery store samples.
Need to wash this down. I think I see someone handing out samples in the liquor department.
Geez, can we focus on our list?
What's this?
It says you can win 2 tickets to Green Bay's home game against Chicago on December 7th.
Or autographed footballs, or a 4-pack of Green Bay Hall of Fame tickets.
You have to enter through Century's Facebook or Instagram.
I'll be entering this on my phone in the deli next to that cheese sample station.
I'm shopping at Century alone next time.
Enter by November 12th.
Get out this summer and experience Road America, America's national park of speed. Located conveniently between Green Bay and Milwaukee and Elkhart Lake, Road America is home to the legendary 4-mile, 14-turn circuit that's hosted the world's best since 1955. Camp on site all weekend, enjoy state fair-style food, and bring the family. Kids 16 and under get in free with a paying adult. Don't miss Arian's Art on Wheels, September 12th through the 14th. Come for the experience, stay for the race. Get your tickets now at roadamerica.com.
This is Mike and Michelle Grau from Professional Construction Inc.,
a.k.a. PCI.
Around here, they're the same thing, like Friday fish fry and a good old-fashioned.
We're the Waukesha neighbors you see at the grocery store, Friday night football games, and yes, in your kitchen, making that space better than ever.
For us, PCI isn't just a name. It's family, it's community. It's putting our heart into every build and remodel.
PCI, for all your construction needs. Visit professionalconstructioninc.com.
I've been to my fair share of green and gold games, and the best way to get there is with Accutrans Group. At Good Karma Brands and ESPN Milwaukee, we use Accutrans Group to get our partners to and from Green Bay, and it's always first class. From stadiums to concerts and tailgates, your game day fun starts the moment you step on board. Sit back, relax, and let their professional chauffeurs handle the traffic while you enjoy the ride. Accutrans Group is Milwaukee's premier ground transportation, available 24/7 with sedans, SUVs, limos, vans, and buses. Book today at Accutransgroup.com.
Hot Wheels fan, are you ready for the all-new Blow and Fire? Come watch your favorite Hot Wheels monster trucks fly, crash, and smash with all new stunts and featuring the world premiere of Galasaurus with thrilling freestyle motocross and the fire-breathing robot Transaurus. Meet the Hot Wheels monster trucks up close at the pre-show party, presented by Metro by T-Mobile, sponsored by Meyer. Kids tickets are up to 50% off. Coming September 13th and 14th to Fiserv Forum in Milwaukee. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. You're listening to Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin and 620 WTMJ.
Just let me cry a little bit longer. I ain't gonna smile.
We got a lot to get through in the final two segments. Green Bay Game Day presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. He is Gabe Neitzel. I'm Alex Strouf hanging out with you from the Tundra Trio in Green Bay, just outside the south end zone of Lambeau Field. Everybody's making their way into the stadium. All of a sudden, we saw the American flag, as we do every week, get escorted through for the national anthem coming up in about 40 or so minutes, 35 or so minutes for the national anthem. 40 minutes away from kickoff here at Lambeau Field between the Green Bay Packers and the Washington Commanders. All right, Gabe, a lot of ground to cover. You ready?
Let's do it.
Let's try to make some money first. It's time now for our best bet.
Oh, especially after we lost money last week.
I don't want to talk about it. Our best bet presented by the Island Resort and Casino. Fall golf season, fall golf season is on its way to the Island. Tee off amid stunning autumn scenery, then enjoy top-tier dining, relaxing spa time, and non-stop casino action, and maybe you'll even meet Gabe Neitzel. Fall golf rates start mid-September. Plan now. IslandResortGolf.com. That's IslandResortGolf.com.
I'm just thinking like a night like tonight, coming up 17-18 of Sweetgrass there on property. Oh, that'd be prime.
All right, I've got two, and one you're not going to like.
Oh, boy.
All right, one is on the Washington side.
Okay. Is that the one I'm not going to like?
Devo Samuel rushing yards is only 4.5 yards.
Ooh.
So I like the over there.
So he got the one carry last week, had the 19 yards. Oh, yeah, it was 21 yards.
21 or touchdown, yeah. So I think 4.5, even if it's one carry, he's going to get 5 yards.
Yeah, I mean, again, so once again, Jayden Daniels continues to run the ball a ton for them. I think they're going to run the ball a little bit more, even to have that even try to neutralize Micah Parsons. Because here's the thing: if you're early in the game, if you are Washington and you're able to get first downs on first and second down, that's keeping Micah Parsons off the field. Because last week, early in the game, he's only coming in those obvious pass situations. I will take the over on that as well.
Wow,
it is very low, even for a West player.
Resident Debo doubter, Gabe Neitzel, on the Debo rushing train today. I've got one other one. And look, I've never claimed to be a genius. Yes, I have. I've never claimed to be a genius. Yes, I have. I've got a hunch tonight.
Oh, boy. What are you taking, like a anytime touchdown, anytime, like a pick?
Sure am.
What are we doing?
Dontavian Wicks, anytime touchdown. I love it.
Ooh.
I love it. His odds are not good. Now I lost them. It's like it's like plus 950. I
yeah, so take the flyer if it hits.
I got a gut feeling about Dontavian Wicks making some noise tonight. His receiving prop is only 22.5 also, so something to keep.
I mean, if you're going to go all in on Dontavian Wicks, you might as well go all in on Dontavian Wicks.
I'm going all in on Dontavian Wicks. I got a hunch.
I mean, one play and you could hit both of those.
I got a hunch.
25-yard touchdown, you hit both.
Sometimes, yeah, you're right. Oh, we got Go Pack Go chants breaking out here at the Tundra Trio. I love to see it.
That's what I love.
I kind of want to take my head.
Have enough
Can
of
you
the
carry
Go
the
Pack?
show? I want to participate.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go Pack Go!
I mean, we didn't have enough Go Pack Go chants last week.
Sorry,
That's what I think. We didn't have enough last week.
You're right, we didn't. I just needed to participate. I appreciate those fellas.
And I was being overly optimistic about how many Lions fans were actually here last week. Like Matt LaFleur even made a comment about it.
It's very visible. It's way more Packers today.
Yes, very visible. I mean, obviously, it's a little bit more of a hike on a Thursday night for Commanders fans.
No doubt about that. All right, let's move on to our Gruber Law Offices One Call. Gruber Law Offices has a reputation for winning. Their experienced and powerful team works tirelessly to help people and families seriously injured in accidents by providing the best care and service. There is never a fee until your case is won. Gruber Law Offices has been serving the people and state of Wisconsin for over 35 years. Gruber Law Offices, one call. That's all. Gabe Neitzel, your one call for Packers Commanders.
Matthew Golden scores his first career touchdown tonight.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
I just think
they have 2 catches last week.
He only had 2 catches, only had 2 targets last week, and I think there were some opportunities for him to get on the play in which Jordan Love just aimlessly decided to just flip it out into the flat to no one in particular, and Anzalone almost picked it off. Again, there was some pressure coming in, so he had to get rid of the football. If Jordan had literally just 1 second more, I think a big play to Golden was coming there. I think they've got a couple of those dialed up, and I think we see a more productive Matthew Golden tonight for the Green Bay Packers.
Okay, I was just gonna kind of be a dork. I was trying to find an appropriate word there and just go, hey, Dontavian Wicks scores a touchdown. I already told you that's going to happen. Tonight's the night. It's 2 sacks from Micah Parsons.
All right, I like it.
He's got Jayden Daniels twice tonight. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go a step further. It's 2.5 takedowns of Jayden Daniels. 2.5 sacks. 2.5 sacks for Micah Parsons tonight. We're just kind of waiting. Yesterday you got teased a little bit. You got the late game sack. You saw the impact he made. I think tonight you go, okay, I get it even a little bit more now.
Well, in
2.5 sacks, Micah Parsons.
Here's where Micah's going to have, I think, more of an opportunity to make some of those plays this week because Jared Goff knows he's not athletic. So he tries to, when he senses that pressure, to get rid of the ball a little bit quickly. What led to the Evan Williams interception last week? Oh, Micah just beat Penei Sewell quickly. I got to get rid of this thing. Makes a bad decision. Jayden Daniels, because of the athleticism, holds onto the ball a little bit longer because he thinks, because he can, get out of a lot of those situations. He was sacked 3 times last week.
Yeah.
But, I mean, again, the Giants have a good front four.
They do.
But he still does take a number of different sacks because he likes holding onto the football because he likes to try to make those plays out of schedule. Yes.
Giants do have a good front four.
Yep.
Packers is better, though, right?
Micah Parsons makes it overall better. But I mean, like 1 through 4.
So good,
yeah, Thibodeau's really good. I just like what they have going on there.
Yeah, I do too.
Brian Burns is good.
Yeah.
Who's the guy they just from Penn State?
Of course.
The number 3 pick in the draft.
Abdul Carter.
Yeah, Abdul Carter's really good. Like they've invested a lot. If you think the Packers have invested a lot in their front four, the Giants have invested a lot in their front four.
Fair point. All right, I have another question for you.
Okay.
Do you need a hero like Bonnie Tyler?
Don't we all?
We all need a hero. It's time now for I Need a Hero, which is presented by Network Health, who are honored to serve many veteran members and also proud to count veterans among their employees. Because they're based right here in Wisconsin, they are able to develop health plans specifically with their veterans in mind. All right, it's I Need a Hero time. Buddy, give it to me. Late at night, I toss and I turn. Okay, Gabe Neitzel, who's your hero?
My hero, I think we're going to get another pretty complete game out of Jordan Love tonight. I think we're going to see some similar things early in the game of Washington wanting to slow down Josh Jacobs, daring Jordan Love to beat them, and he is going to do that. He's going to be even better this week than he was last week, and maybe even plays a complete game. Gets that first and second half going. I think we're going to get a really good game out of Jordan Love tonight.
Packers had an interception last week, though it didn't completely turn the game around because it was pretty much dominance from start to finish. I think tonight,
but it changed the complexion of that game, though.
It did.
Because if the Lions score there, even a field goal, it kind of changes that complexion going into, because then it's just a one-score game.
No, I agree with that.
You know, even if they just kick a field goal, it's a one-score game. It changed the complexion and gave you that feeling of dominance for the Packers going into the locker room.
I think we get another interception tonight.
From?
Javon Bullard. I think Javon Bullard is going to be the man with the INT tonight. We talked about him quite a bit last week. We also talked about him a little bit with Jason when he joined us in the 6 o'clock hour, or 5 o'clock hour, rather.
Honestly, we didn't talk about him enough this week.
No. He was really good last week.
I mean, there were a lot of good things that were going on last week.
Especially on defense.
But the fact that we didn't really talk about the secondary at all. I mean, again, it's a short week, so maybe if we had, if the Packers were playing on Sunday, eventually you get to that conversation talking about the secondary. But yes, the pass rush did their job, but that secondary to hold, and then even when Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameis Williams made catches, like to swarm to the football and make the tackles that they did, you love to see that out of your secondary.
I do, yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely right. So I'm going to go Javon Bullard. You're going Jordan Love. It's kind of a cop-out, isn't it?
Jordan Love?
Yeah, as your hero.
He's a pretty good hero, though.
Would be a pretty good hero. If we get like a 253 touchdown night, then I'll give it to you. But if it's 188 touchdowns.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's got to be better than it was last week.
I'm good with it. That's Gabe Neitzel. I'm Alex Strouf. We have one segment left, which means there's only one thing left to do. Final thoughts, game picks, all still ahead as we wrap up Green Bay Game Day, presented by the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
More Green Bay Game Day coming up on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Hey, it's John McGivern here. You know I love Network Health. One of the reasons is that they're local and they understand how important that is. Their exceptional customer service isn't just words on a page. It's what they do. It's what they've always done for over 41 years. Call 833-7-NETWORK today. HMO and POS plans underwritten by Network Health Plan. Compensation has been provided for using this endorsement of Network Health.
The vibrant fall colors and cooler temperatures make for great days out on the golf course. The Island invites you to experience the best of fall golf with late season rounds at Sweetgrass or Sage Run. Fall golf rates run September 15th through the end of the 2025 season, with tee times starting at $75 and stay and play packages from $125. And submit your 2026 golf package requests early to guarantee choice dates. Plan your fall golf adventure today at islandresortgolf.com.
Oh no, there's only seltzer left, and it's passionberry almond fruit? Who comes up with these? Kick the aluminum can to the curb and mix up a cocktail you actually want with Tito's. It tastes great, it's gluten-free, and it's available in a variety of sizes for your convenience. The flavor abilities are endless. Tito's Handmade Vodka, the official spirit of whatever you want to drink. Distilled and bottled by 5th Generation Inc., Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume. Savor responsibly.
The grill is hot, the crowd is loud, and the flavor? That's all Coops Mustard. Hey, it's Alex Strouf. For over 125 years, Coops has been the MVP of game day eats with 14 bold flavors that make every brat, burger, and pretzel a championship bite. Because Coops isn't your ordinary mustard. It's extraordinary mustard. The kind that turns tailgates into traditions and touchdowns into taste bud celebrations. This football season, bring the bold, bring the flavor, bring Coops. Coops Mustard, spreading the love since 1897.
Huge savings on Dell AI PCs with Intel Core Ultra processors are here, and they're newly designed to help you do more faster. They can generate code, edit images, multitask without lag, draft emails, summarize documents, create live translations, and even extend your battery life. That's the power of Dell AI with Intel inside. Upgrade today by visiting Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
Grown-ups, don't go back to school. Go forward through school into your future as an IT professional. Whether you're starting out, switching careers, or a veteran ready for change, My Computer Career can help you get into IT in just a few short months with no prior experience. So take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Your rewarding career in IT awaits. That's mycomputercareer.edu. An elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the VA benefits.
Hey, this is Mike from Infinity Exteriors. Buying a roof, siding, or windows can feel overwhelming. Hidden costs, confusing contracts. We don't play that game. We educate you so you can decide. And when you know the facts, Infinity Exteriors is the clear choice. Since 1997, we've installed peace of mind with no surprise upcharges, flexible budgets, and immediate financing. Infinity Exteriors, saving our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
At Tony Wendorf & Associates First Weber Group, we believe in the human side of real estate. For us, it's faith, family, and friends in that order. We live that every single day. I'm Tony Wendorf. We move fast, negotiate with confidence, and communicate clearly so our clients win. We operate from a place of gratitude, having donated nearly $200,000 back to our community since 2020. You deserve a team that delivers a luxury experience no matter the price point. Contact us today to get started. Tony Wendorf & Associates, trusted knowledge, superior service. Contact us at wendorfteam.firstweber.com.
This is Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin on ESPN Wisconsin at 620 WTMJ.
Wrapping up Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Alex Strouf, Gabe, Neitzel with you at the Tundra Trio Houses just outside of Lambeau Field, and the crowd is missiling into Lambeau Field. Everybody's going that way, as it's a big one. People want to be in their seats by kickoff at 7:15, about 25 minutes from now.
That's what happens when you got a really good team.
And playing another really good team.
Well, but I just think when you have... Again, this isn't a knock on the last 2 years.
Yeah.
The last 2 years have been more, I think, right?
Yeah.
And I think of some of the best Aaron Rodgers years or the Brett Favre years of the 90s when you knew you had a good team and you didn't want to miss anything. You wanted to make sure you were in your seat for kickoff because you don't know what that team's going to be capable of because something special could happen right away. And after the performance they put up there on Sunday, that's kind of the feeling everybody has. And I'm hoping they can verify that and back it up with another really good performance tonight.
Let me start with this. I said last week, if they win in convincing fashion against the Lions, I'm going to be insufferable all week.
Were you insufferable all week?
I don't think I was.
Okay.
Because I still, in the back of my mind, go, it's just week one.
Yeah.
It's just week one. You just use the term verify, which I think is the right word to use. If they can duplicate that performance from a week ago, and I'm not saying in the form of 27-6, what it was with a minute left, right? Until Isaac Tesla made that amazing catch and made it 27-13.
What was his name?
Isaac Tesla. Does that say it right? I don't know. How do you say it?
I don't know. But
it's not Tesla.
But the way you're going Tesla, like you're really hitting the two A's.
Got to emphasize it. Isaac Tesla made that amazing catch.
Just made me chuckle. That's all.
I don't anticipate a 27-6 type blowout that the Packers were in last week against the Lions. I just don't see that happening, A, on a short week, but B, against this Commanders team. I think they're at least right at this second better than the Lions team right at the second. Not to say that can't change. So, I from a defensive standpoint, to see it against a good quarterback who's had two back-to-back, or two of the best career years that he's had in each of the last two seasons, Jared Goff, and then to face a completely different type of quarterback who's been playing really good football the entirety of his NFL career, entering game 20 or 21 for Jayden Daniels, who's a mobile quarterback who extends plays. If they're able to slow him down and contain him, am I going to be insufferable?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think you should save your insufferability for tomorrow. Because
and you might get it.
When the schedule came out and we did our show, so, kind of a tough start.
Yeah.
Kind of a tough start, huh? Like, I mean, man, if they start 0-2 and the hand-wringing kind of starts, and as we sat here last week, just 5 days ago, and we were talking about this with Steve Scaffidi to kick off Green Bay game day on Sunday, it was, okay, if they go 1-1, everything that you want to do is still on the table. And they were able to get the victory, and now the worst you're going to be able to do is 1-1. But if you go 2-0, if you go 2-0, the hype train, it is going to be pulling out of the station over the next week and a half before they play Cleveland in Cleveland next Sunday. And I hope you're jumping aboard because the hype train is going to be out of control in the state of Wisconsin with this team if they win tonight and go 2-0 against two teams that everybody believes is good and everybody believes are postseason teams. And it's the one thing they couldn't do last year, right? Like that was the question. Like, okay, can you beat a playoff team? Lost to the Lions twice, lost to the Vikings twice, lost to the Eagles to start the season,
and then they ended their season.
Yeah, and then okay, you beat the Texans in there.
Yeah.
Beat the Rams, but they weren't really at full strength.
Yeah.
So that was the question. And if you back it up and win again tonight, I don't know what possible questions you could have about this team if they do what we all think they're going to do tonight and come away with a victory.
So let's just skip to that part. We both think they're going to win tonight.
Yes.
And I think it's because of A, what we saw last week, but also B, it seemed like it was sustainable. Not from the part of you completely slow down one of the best offenses in the NFL, but hey, you can wreak chaos. You can create, you can create pressure on the opposing quarterback. You can make them uncomfortable. And ultimately, you trust your offense and your quarterback enough to score enough points to win. That just seems like the recipe, and it will be the recipe for the Packers this season. By no means are we sitting here and saying, hey, they're going to go 17-0. They're going to lose eventually.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's this week. I don't think it's at home on a short week with all the buzz and all the momentum behind you after getting that monkey off your back, if you will, from last week, right? You just talked about it. The commentary for the last 8+ months have been, they can't really beat a good team. They can't really beat a good team. And seemingly, we don't know what the Lions are going to be, easy for me to say, in 2025. But we think they're a good team. We think they're ultimately going to be a good team.
They have too much talent not to be.
Correct.
Like, there's too much talent on that roster. I don't care who their coordinators are. Like, they're going to be winning football games on the sheer talent they have alone.
And I think that's why you and I are both buying what the Packers are selling the last 5 days. And that is, I think they're one of the best teams, if not the best team in the NFC.
It's just such a different feeling to have a defense like this. Because for so long it was always the inverse. Like, all right, well, we've got Rodgers. We're going to be in every game. And now it's the inverse. We got Micah Parsons. We're going to be in every game. And that's not to say they're not going to have a bad game.
Yeah.
They're going to have games where they give up points, just like Aaron Rodgers would have games where he'd throw 2 interceptions or they put up 3 points against the Saints. And inexplicably, how did that happen?
Right.
Who cares? They'll figure it out. That's how I feel about this defense. Like, with this defense, with Micah Parsons healthy on that defense, they're going to be in every game they play.
Yeah.
They're going to have opportunities to win every single game they play because they've got one of the, if not the best defense in the NFL.
All right, we've got 60 seconds to go here on Green Bay Game Day, presented by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Do you have a score in mind?
27-17.
Oh, really? We're on the same page, man. That's the exact score I put on our score graphic at ESPN Milwaukee on social. 27-17 is exactly what I think. I think it's closer than that, though. Like, I think it's a 20-17 late.
Field goal late to kind of make it 2 possessions.
Something like that.
Yeah, so it's like 24-17, and then McManus hits one with 5 minutes left. Like, okay, now you can finally breathe touch situation.
I don't think this is the type of game where you're going to be doing a lot of breathing. I think you're going to be biting your nails a little bit. Not in a bad way. Just in a, okay, let's see what Jordan Love can do when the ball gets back in his hands. And ultimately, I think he comes through. Should be a really fun one. Packers-Commanders coming up at 7:15 here at Lambeau Field. Just a reminder, Green Bay game night begins immediately following the final whistle. Homer, Mark Tauscher, Gary Ellerson, Jason Wilde with you following the game on these very stations. Thanks for hanging out with us on Green Bay Game Day. We're back with you next Sunday ahead of Browns-Packers. Go, Pack, go!
When it comes to joint replacement, you want the best care available. The Orthopedic Surgery Center in Pewaukee is a leader in joint replacement, offering same-day surgery with advanced technology. Their team of experts specializes in knee, hip, and shoulder replacements, using the latest techniques to minimize pain and recovery time. The team at Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin can get you back to what matters, living pain-free. Total joint replacement. There is a difference. Visit orthowisconsin.com.
Hey Packer fans, the start of the NFL season means it's time to break out the Bandito with El Bandito Yankee, the official tequila of game day. 100% Blue Weber agave, all natural and so smooth it's criminal. Try the award-winning Blanco, Reposado, Anejo, and the new high-proof